just John Earl.
Is there a country singer named John Earl?
I hope so. I don't know.
Are you twangy?
Huh?
Are you twangy country boy?
It's not like a good one.
A little bit. Not
I'm looking at
I've always lived in that. I think so.
yes, 2K.
Right from Texas.
Wow, just a bunch of
Yeah, me
usual
too. I lived in
suspects
Houston all the
tonight.
time. Not my family.
Alright guys, alright. Again, it is a 2-5 game or mandatory straddles. Y'all play mandatory straddle or not? Decided now. 2-5-10 or y'all playing just a 2-5? It's up to y'all.
2 out of 10.
2-5-10.
2-5-10, mandatory straddle 10.
Every 30 minutes.
Alright, and every 30 minutes on the bomb pot or 4
Oh
votes?
man, this sounds good.
Good job.
I say 30.
30's you with everybody?
Sure.
Alright, so we're going to do 30-minute bomb pots. We're going to start off with one, obviously, and it's a 2-5-10. Perfect? Alright, you're good to go. Good luck, everybody.
All right, looks like we're getting the stream started.
Motions are the same, even at the screen table, guys.
My name is Zach Baker. I'm a dealer from Dallas. I'll be commentating on the stream today.
Get it. Play it as long as you'd like to. After the fact, just say fold and hold. Take it off to the side. We'll get you $400 at the end of the hand. You can hold them. We have quad kings today for $1,800. Pocket kings that are going to make quad kings that make pocket kings that make quads off the board are going to get paid $1,800. So long as there's at least 10x in the 10x big blind in the pot.
Gonna get started on a bomb pot. It looks like we're gonna do it every 30 minutes, and mandatory $10 straddle
So it's just going to be
every hand.
in the pot.
$50 in the process.
All right, so we're gonna start with the bomb pot 10s for everybody.
All the big man.
Blake. 10, please. Sure. All right. Again, everybody, good
Is that
luck.
when you have the blood?
And everybody's streamed before. They know where the sensors are.
I couldn't believe the guy fucking folded it, Jack. Yeah, I couldn't say it. I don't know if he's like the biggest bid or
I was like, John might not have.
money or
Can you have me do my last name just for the name?
What's your last name for the name?
Barber? Yeah.
Barber?
Yeah.
B-A-R-B-E-R?
Thank
Yeah,
you.
yeah. We'll get it switched up here momentarily.
Thanks.
All right, we're ready to go.
I just don't want the IRS,
That is very fair.
All the big bucks you make, man.
like, yeah.
Looks like they're starting off with a $10 ante for the bomb pot, PLO bomb pot, 2 boards.
Check.
5 check, 6 check.
You're gonna be doing this every 30 minutes. Pretty fun little game here.
70.
4 cards in your hand. You must play 2. 2 from your hand. Must play 2 from your hand. 3 from the board. John Earl's going to go ahead and pot at 70 with trips on one board and not much else on the other board. He's looking to just take it down, push his equity on the top board.
6 fold.
Caleb's flopped the boat up
Very
top.
good, sir. How are
And
you?
also
How was
has,
the game last week?
2 pair
it was good.
on the
We
bottom
missed you.
board,
We missed
so
your
he's definitely a favorite here.
Yeah, I'm pretty good at
John Earl's
that.
going
All right, heads up.
to be drawn pretty slim.
Pretty good lineup, and so you made a big old bluff. I watched maybe the first.
Fortunately, he doesn't have much on the other board, so
No, I think it was Monday.
facing
Jay
a
wouldn't
bit
play.
of action, he'll be able to get away from it.
Yeah.
5 check.
Yeah,
What big old bluff today?
It's king of diamonds on the bottom board. 5 check, 7 check.
I don't remember, but you didn't get called, but you made it.
I did a naughty, huh?
Yeah.
I'll bid the pot.
Caleb's got the check mark
5
now.
pounds, 210.
I'd like to see a small bet here, but he's going to go ahead and pot it.
Who was the big winner of that Monday, last Monday?
And 7 call. Showdown.
Shopping,
Hope so.
Okay.
Throw it on top.
There was someone that.
All right, so
called
we're
me.
gonna
No chop here. Caleb's going to skip the whole thing.
Necessarily what I was hoping.
10s full of 6s. We'll be looking at bottom board. What do we got here? Jack 6, 2 pairs.
Voted with 10-6, I just got 3 10s.
Jack 6, trip 10s, 8. It's going to be a scoop. 210.
Good way to start off the night. Plus 340 straight away. Win the first bomb pot.
Remember the immediately previous stream.
Get a little bit of confidence.
2 streams ago. I remember
Get some chips in front of you. Not a bad way to go.
I can't remember. I
think I won, but
Take it.
Starting 7-handed here, waiting on a few more players to arrive.
On Thursday?
We got Caleb in seat 5, Magic in seat 2,
Monday.
Blake seat 1, Stein seat 3,
I don't
Kevin seat
play
Y,
Barber on Monday. Last week?
No.
Kevin seat 4, Kevin seat 6, and John Elton
Did I
seat
even play?
I'm not chasing him. Going about my.
Change your name to Chase.
Yeah.
I haven't seen you in a while. I know. Freaking cheater, defector.
10 to go.
If I'm honest, that's a big part of the reason why I'm.
Got our first hand of Hold'em, got the $10 straddle on. Caleb's looking down at Queen Jack suited in the low jack, so probably looking to open it up here.
5 bet, 20, 6 fold, 7 fold. 1 fold. 2 calls, 3 fold. 4 fold.
I'm just gonna go ahead and complete the small blind Queen unsuited.
Oh, yeah.
Someone's got to
Fine from all players all around. I'd like to see a little bit bigger open sizing from Caleb, but I don't know how these Austin players play. They might fold to some larger sizings down there. Up here in Dallas, you make it 5x the big blind, you're getting calls from 5 players, so you got a good hand, you want to put some money in the pot.
You're going to change his name right
It's more of a GTO sizing to use
now. 2 fold.
a $20 to $30 open here.
Oh yeah, yeah, I stuck in there. Yeah, that was a wild ride.
Caleb has changed his name to Barber now.
Good
I don't know, it's a
afternoon.
stupid call. But it's one of those deals, that guy,
Yeah, one more coming in. What's the name?
Jeffrey,
Jeffrey?
I think that happened
I
to
played
him.
with him again yesterday.
Is that what you want for the stream?
Yes, yeah, just having to
Jeffrey sitting down, and looks like Chris is at
Who are you
the
talking
just
about?
gotta call light sometimes. Although,
Coming in for
calling
2K?
for 10,000, yeah,
2K coming in. Jeffrey coming in for 2K.
that's the no-no.
Chris is
Alright, looks like Jeffrey in seat 9 now.
But he didn't have a button, so that's why it's not.
Should be 8-handed here.
That would make
so
it
in
more
Hold'em
like
we're doing
call
quad
it.
kings for 1,800. Pocket kings that make quads off the board as long as there is 10x big blind in the pot. 1,800 extra dollars. 6 fold, 7 fold, 9 fold. 1 bet 35. Your sense will be like here, especially rub it over it. The screen up there will show you whenever they're both gray, then you can spread both of them, then you pull them back. The only thing is don't pull them all the way back.
Magic's got 8 jack off on the button here. Definitely due for an open. Can
Still
get
have
some
money,
action
man?
from the cutoff.
Not yet. After tonight.
This is the last bullet, huh?
Yeah. To be able to make all the team money.
Heads up.
pump them all in there.
Yeah, that's what I like to do.
Blake pops the best of it with a pair of 3s, but it's going to be hard to call down with bottom pair.
Let's swing in now.
Yeah.
And just immediately outdone on the turn here. Fortunately, he's not going to feel too compelled to continue too much in the pot.
1 call.
Go ahead and see a river. Got the gutter and the overcard.
1 check. 2 check. Alright, we're looking at ace jack. 10s and jacks with an ace.
Mirror.
Take it.
Like FOMO, it's FOMO. We're gonna see it.
Chris, you have 2?
Yeah.
Chris is in for 2. Yeah. And we're doing quad kings, 1,800. Playing 2-5. Yeah, it's easy enough. Yeah. Playing 2-5-10. Ball pots are every 30.
Same old shit.
Different.
You didn't make the deuce to 7 last week, man.
Didn't.
I think Mike was expecting. It was not a good
Yeah,
session.
millionaire maker.
What's going on, Incognito?
Stuff on my
Alright,
How's the chat doing tonight?
Oh, no, we had people.
No, Aaron left yesterday.
My first time commentating on the Austin stream down here, so I didn't recognize too many of y'all in the chat.
One fold.
Selling action. Did anybody know if he got his action sold?
Hopefully we got a few regulars in here.
2 raised to
He ended up
100.
getting sold?
Excuse me. 3
Get
fold,
a
4
little
fold.
markup in there and everything. I was curious if he was
Ooh, Magic's gonna wake up with the aces and the cutoff.
4 fold,
Gonna
5
three
fold.
bet Chris's king queen off open. It decides to continue. Somebody's three betting a lot.
Is up.
You can go ahead and continue with the king queen off. But generally, I would lean towards the fold in a vacuum. Maybe put in some tough spots.
I'd consider
8 check.
He's gonna fall top pair with the gutter, and he's gonna have to continue here.
Oh, sorry, 275.
that's, you know. Who is?
Nice small bet sizing on a flop. Make sure Magic can get some action from some worse hands.
Yeah, he named his price.
If he goes too large, he's only getting action from better, and it's not fun to lose with the aces.
He's so,
Screw whether he wins.
Yeah.
They want to be. They're already getting what they're
You can go for
paying.
another small bet here on the river.
Purchase it.
But he's just gonna check it back. I think betting 125 or something is pretty good.
nice hands, sir.
Unless you think your opponents are gonna be chip raising you a lot, and then you go ahead and just check it back.
Well, I mean, Aaron was hitting me up. I said,
Nice to win with your aces.
but you know what's funny
Yeah, I looked at
is
No, that doesn't happen. We know
Will,
that. Most of us at Steve
long-haired
Life.
Will with the
Doesn't we
beard.
always get drawn out on.
He was selling action at the deuce to 7, and Mike bought something. Oh yeah, gave him a couple $100. What the hell? That's 10% of the deuce to 7.
I feel like that's a pretty common little issue there, Joey. A bunch of people want to start a poker vlog, and they start to go through and see how much work it is to track the action, track the hands, edit the videos, and it's just like, man,
8 fold.
I could just play like 3 times more poker and just make more money that way.
1 bet, 35.
But someone's got to do it. The content is good for the game, gets people into the game,
2 call.
allows people to improve at steady rate, just have some good entertainment. So if you can put the work in, it's definitely got some value for everybody. Blake wakes up with the ace king suited, beautiful hand,
6 fold. 7
and open it up from the low jack and get some action. 3 bet on the button,
Or maybe it's still.
8-6 suited. It's a fine low frequency play, but you got to be careful you're not getting too out of line too often. Blake's probably gonna put in a 4 bet here and make it $400 or $500.
1 raise. 575. 2 fold, 3 fold.
575. Bit on the larger side, but totally fine. Just pick up the money uncontested. Only $262 in less than a minute, so I
Starting like I did.
think he's doing all right.
Well, that's a lot of dead money.
Excuse me, 9 fold, 1 fold.
Let me know in the chat if you guys are having trouble hearing me or not.
4 call. Five call.
Looks like we're definitely gonna have some multi-way pots here tonight.
6 raise.
Looks like a good action game with a $10 straddle on. Everybody's trying to play a little bit.
7 fold, 8 fold.
Jack 8 suited putting a 3 bet from the small blind. It's a bit loose, but completely fine. You don't want to be trying to go multi-way out of position to everybody. You want to thin the field if you're going to play a hand. So, fine to do this.
5 fold.
I'm just going to take it down straight away.
Get some red, white.
You get some money, sweet.
Yeah, I'm doing the stream from home, and I've got an old gaming mic here. I'm trying to use, but first time using it in a while, so the settings might be a little bit off. So I apologize to you guys.
That sounded like
Michael what? He's not gonna have a problem with that. One fold, two fold, three fold, four fold. The button is on 6. You got it? So everybody folded 5 called, 6 bet 35, 7 fold, 8 called.
Jeffrey here with the jiggities, everybody's favorite hand.
9 raise 1.
Always wins, of course. No sweat.
5 fold. 6 call. 8 fold.
Heads up against ace queen, reasonable hand.
Heads up, Dylan. Nine bet 120.
Jeffrey's going to go for a 1/3 sizing here on this board. Make sure his opponent has to float with some of these ace-high hands. If he goes too large, then Kevin can get away from hands like exactly what he has. So he could use 1/4, 1/3 sizing here to get some action from some worse hands. He's not loving the king, but he's probably still pretty happy with his hand. Kevin's going to bluff on this card sometimes. His hands is exactly like what he has. Plus Jeffrey just takes it down. Good result with the jacks, especially with the red jacks.
Oh, after 16, after 45. Fair enough. I should let you know, I do not have a timer up here. Yeah. Alright. 2 fold, 3 fold, 4 fold. 5 fold. 6 call, 7 fold.
Now Chris with the jacks from the small blind. Could use a little bit larger sizing here, try and make sure he's not playing out of position with too many players. Looks like Blake went for the limp re-raise with ace-king. You're going to have a limping range from under the gun. Go for the limp raise. Ace-king's definitely going to be in there. Have some hands like king-queen suited, ace-king off,
8 call.
pocket sevens, pocket aces, pocket kings, those kinds of hands. Maybe some weaker suited connectors you wouldn't normally play that you might get to see a flop with, like your 5-6 or 4-5 suited.
One bet 125. Three call.
We go for the quarter pot sizing and see the call from the jacks. I like the hand so far. Seems pretty reasonable from both players. Pretty easy to balance your whole range.
One check.
Check, check on the turn. Chris might go for a small lead here. They're just gonna check and pick off any
One check.
bluffs.
Sit down.
If you think your opponents aren't going to bluff very often, and you're going to try and go for some value against some pocket tens, pocket nines, I like a small lead. If you're against really tough opponents who are going to start bluffing you, then you just go to the check call mode. I'll try and switch to a different mic for you guys, see if that helps at all.
3 fold, 4 fold, 5 fold, 6 fold, 7 fold, 8 bet 35, 9 fold, 1 fold, 2 fold. Four fold, 5 fold, 6 bet 35, 7 fold, 8 fold, 9 fold, 1 fold, 2 fold.
Let me know if this is better or worse for you guys.
Heads up. Six check. 7 check. Six bet 35. 7 call. Six bet 16. 7
Yeah.
call.
Finish.
What do you think?
No pot's too big yet, but we've definitely seen some players getting into the mix so far.
7 fold. 8 fold, 9 fold.
Didn't you they already?
I know.
One bet 35.
Remember, I'm like so cold in this corner.
2 call, 3 fold.
Looks like Kevin's going for a limp re-raise under the gun with the ace queen suited.
4 bet 175. 9 fold. 2 fold.
Just gonna get it through and pick up some money. Dead money, nice and easy.
Okay. Next hand will be a bump on that.
Yeah.
Not gonna wait till 6:30 for the bomb?
Yeah, 15 and 45.
Oh, cool,
Just because the way we come into the box.
sure.
6 bet
King queen
35.
suited
7
under
fold,
the
8
gun
fold,
1.
9 fold.
Definitely good enough for a raise. Gonna make it 35. That's about the sizing I typically go with. Pay some $10 straddle, just 3.5x.
5 fold. Who's got an ace? Alright, we got 3 players. 3 check.
It's gonna flop a flush draw and 2 overs it looks like. Magic with the second pair, top kicker.
2 bet 35. 3 fold.
75.
6 call.
Can mix in some check raises, but it's definitely a better board for the field callers. So check call is more than fine. He's gonna turn the best of it. He's just got so much equity.
2 bet 225. Six call. Six check. Two check. We'll be looking at eights and a queen.
There, draw.
Magic was going for some thin value there on the turn with the pair of eights, trying to get called by some flush draws. It might be a little too thin, but if you're in some spots where you're betting too thin, it probably means you're doing just fine as a player. You need to be finding the thin value bets.
Quad threes today?
That's quad kings on the hold.
You just got to be careful you're not overdoing it.
Yeah, quad kings in the hold round, but
Any quad in your hand.
any quads in your hand during the bomb pot. Has to be in your hand.
Do you hold on to it?
Just say, yeah, you play it, yeah. Play it as long as you want to, and then,
You have to win.
and then
Bucket
you have to
it,
commit your
like that.
stack. You have to commit your stack for the 400.
Yeah. Can you just say check the cameras?
I mean, technically, I guess we could, yeah,
Well,
1 in 20,000 shot.
but if they screws up the scan on one card, you're just gonna hit one.
Oh, really? Yeah, well, just, I mean, the first time that I had dealt somebody one where they're like, fold and hold. Most of the time.
yeah, like I said, just play it as long as you want to. When you're finished, just say fold and hold. That's the international sign for if you have quads in your hand. Just don't say have
Another bomb pot here, $10 ante from each player.
Don't give the value.
Board's got 7, 9, 10, 6 on the board. 90. Sorry. Check a route to one bet's 90. My apologies, I was explaining the clock position. 2 fold, 3 fold, 4 fold.
See what the players have once it's narrowed down a little bit.
8 fold, 9 fold, everybody fold.
Easy money.
Blake's just going to take it down with 2 pair on bottom and top pair and an open ender up top. No one wanted to contest him there. It's pretty tricky in the bomb pots, so it's a little bit better to play too conservative than too loose in them.
Fold, 7 fold, 8 fold, 9 fold. 1 bet 35, 2 fold, 3 fold.
Open up the 9-6 suited from the hijack. A little loose, but everybody loves the 9-6.
125.
Big lick, as they say. And Kevin's certainly coming in with a 3-bet with the ace-queen suited from the small blind. Again, he's not trying to play hands too much out of position, trying to get field narrowed down. Take it down straight away is not a bad result either.
1 call.
But Kevin with the limp cold call with the ace-king suited, he just figures if he puts in the limp re-raise after facing the 3-bet from the small blind, it's going to look so strong he's never going to get any action. And Blake just Blake just flop stop too, no problem, with the loose open and do just fine here.
6 fold.
And Kevin only loses 125 with ace king. That's not too bad. I usually lose my whole stack or double up, so
1 raise. 4.
good on him for that. Definitely don't mind the raise here. Kevin's going to be c-betting a very large frequency for a small sizing with his whole 3-betting range here. So you don't really have to worry about folding out too many hands. You're going to get a decent continuing range regardless. So it's good to get that value in straight away. Especially with the small raise sizing.
One goes all in.
Gives him such a good price to float and try and play some turns. That might be the biggest pot we've had so far. Like getting frisky with the 9-6 suited.
Take it out of me.
Little City McGetty over there, huh?
No setting spaghetti.
We'll see. Well, I roughed his son bitch.
Been gone long enough to forget.
Especially over here.
Well, if I'm shaking, it's because I'm bluffing.
8 fold, 9 fold, 1 fold, 2 fold,
Just ought to own up, we're gonna see it.
Well, I know.
3 bet 30.
I don't want to get called in the moment, you know. I'm scared.
Stein opening up the king 6 suited from the cutoff. Looks a little loose, but it's right on the cusp of GTO with the 3x open here. I would have opened it up for sure,
7 call.
especially if your opponents aren't 3-betting enough and you think you're going to just be able to play hands in position over some limps.
6 check, 7 check.
Unfortunately, his diamonds are covered by Kevin here,
4 fold.
and both of them have flopped a flush draw, so it's going to be very dangerous to see a diamond here.
7 fold.
And of course, comes straight in on the turn. Only coolers here in poker.
3 bet 115.
Seems like it always comes. Almost certainly going to see a raise. You could decide to slow play it if you think Stein's not value betting very wide.
Six raise. 275.
Puts in a small raise. I like to play. Kind of force him to continue with his whole value range. Anything that's slightly reasonable. Getting such a good price. Like 4 to 1. Only has to be good, like somewhere between 15 and 20% of the time, something like that. The question is what to do on the river. Do you go for a small sizing, trying to get paid by everything, or do you try and make it look like a bluff with a really big bet? Personally, I like a big bet, like at least 500, but even an over bet would be good.
6 bet. 725.
Yeah, he's gonna go pretty big. He's gonna bet almost the pot. Put him in some tough spots with his whole range.
Ace 9 of diamonds.
Ace.
Gotcha.
And just a flat call from Stein.
Daddy.
Kind of surprised he doesn't go for a raise. Just figures that Kevin's either bluffing or he has it. He's basically assuming that Kevin never does that with the jack high flush draw. He uses a smaller sizing.
Of course you're not raising. It's can you fold against this old man over here?
So he's probably thinking Kevin's pretty tight. There's no reason to raise.
That's it, man.
Play nothing but the nuts.
That's all you've seen is nothing but the nuts tonight.
Good on him though, not losing your whole stack with the second nut flush.
You don't have to go there, man.
Did you hear me? 3.
My Sam, man.
No, just 300. 1,000 was
Just
hand.
don't pair the board.
3 is 1,000 back his
Looks
hand.
like he's got a heavy diamond.
9 fold.
Parents affiliation, you say? 30.
1 bet 35. 2 fold, 3 fold, 4 fold.
Raising up the 5-6 suited from Blake here, under the gun 2. fine open. Barber's going to come in with a small 3-bet here on the button. You don't need to go as big with your 3-bets when you're in position, so 80 can be fine. I'd still probably make it a little bit bigger just to get some value from some of the worst hands. But 80 is certainly fine. Kevin decides to come along with the cold call from the small blind. In general, I would advocate for raising your hands out of the small blind or folding them, unless you're making some exploits. So I would just let go of the ace-2 suited, but if you think you can mix it up and outplay your opponent's post-flop, feel free to go at it. They are all fairly deep. You're going to be 250 big blinds deep with Blake, something like that. If you can make your flush, you can stack your opponent. You just have to be able to get away from your top pairs when you have your weak kickers. Middle set now versus a flush draw, a backdoor straight draw. You can definitely see some fireworks here, ballooning the pot already. And Blake's flush comes in straight away on the turn. Barber's still feeling pretty good with middle set. He does lose the flushes in King Jack and Jack 9 still, but it's going to be very tough to get away from this. A lot of bluffs do get here, so it is possible, but you're just going to be folding too much. You're getting 2 to 1. Only has to win a third of the time.
Nice shot. Oh yeah, he's got it. Just making sure. Proud of that little bitty flush.
Yeah, see, I don't need the nuts like you to put it in, dude.
You're just too good.
1K behind. 3.
Oh, sure, you impaired the board and show him some goodness.
That would have been dramatic for me.
1,005, yes. Are you? Go from, thank you.
Green? You want to give him the stack of green?
Thank you.
River is a little bit further out. Early bloodshed, wow.
One fold, 2 fold, 3 fold.
Well, Matchstick, I've not heard anything about any such sort of Premier League or anything. I know in Dallas we do a tournament leaderboard, which may be similar to something you're thinking of or describing, where based on cashes relative to the buy-in or total tournaments participated in, you can get put in a free roll quarterly. I'm not sure if they do anything similar down in Austin, but we do definitely try and find ways to be creative with promos and find things to get back to the players. So if you play in any of the TCH locations and you do have a suggestion, feel free to let one of the floors know, or put it in writing and put in a review or something on Poker Atlas, or shoot an email to the general managers, and they'll always take it into consideration. The players are what drives the business, so if you give the feedback, it'll be incorporated in some form or another, at least considered in some sort of discussion. The TCH staff are always very receptive to player feedback.
One call.
Ace King versus King Queen. Could definitely see some fireworks here.
Heads up.
We've seen Ace King quite a few times so far.
3-bet, 40.
King Queen's liking this flop a lot better than the Ace King, I think. But now that Stein's picked up a flush draw here on the turn, he's just going to be barreling and straight into the nuts straight here. Let's see if Blake goes for a check raise here or just decides to slow play. I think the check raise is the superior play. There's 2 draws on the board. You could definitely get value from worse.
One raise, 425.
Yep, he's going to make it 425. 300 to win 700. He's getting about 2.5 to 1. A little bit less.
3 call.
Brick on the river here for Stein, so should be pretty easy to get away from unless he decides to turn his hand into a bluff.
One bet 6, 3 fold.
Yeah, easy fold. Blake takes down another one. He's running pretty well so far, playing well. See how he plays through the rest of the night. Seems fairly solid player.
5 bet. Do it.
Blake so far a big winner for the night, up 2.4K.
Leave early.
Kevin also up 1,000.
Stack half the table, leave early.
Oh, I know. Make it home for dinner.
Yeah, yeah.
Excuse me, 3 bet 30, 4 fold. 5 call. 6 raise, 125, 7 fold, 8 fold, 9 fold,
Kevin's going to raise up the Jack 10 suited here.
2 fold,
Definitely a fine play.
3 fold, 5 fold.
Wow, and he gets a fold from Ace Queen. Bit of a tight fold there. I don't mind it if you think your opponents are not 3-betting your early position opens at a very high frequency. So you start to view Ace Queen as being towards the bottom of your range.
385.
I'm used to paying in very loose games, so if somebody 3-bets me in late position after I open up Ace Queen from early position, I'm putting in a 4-bet a decent amount of the time.
Keep barrel stream.
It's all about your opponents, though. Lean you one way versus the other.
4 fold.
Barber with the Ace Queen now. Ace Queen, Ace King are just going around the table, it seems like.
9 fold. 1 fold. 2 fold, 3 fold.
Just take down the blinds, 17 bucks uncontested.
Joe, who's Russian? Russian. 2. Barrels.
Shocking. Get in here, John.
Nothing.
You're over there just waiting for that moment. You got them all stacked up. You see it right there.
Yeah.
Just wait. It'll be open at like 3 callers, and then it's just gonna be.
Promise to pay me off though.
Of course. But it counts
4
for the
bet
next,
75.
like,
Sorry, 5 bet
5
75.
downs of tips. So it's like an 8.
Barber's going to open up the king queen off early position.
Pay it off. That's fine. 7 down.
Bit of a large open up to 75.
4 fold.
Basically saying, I'm not trying to get too much action. I'm fine taking the blinds. If I do get action, I want to go heads up. It's hard to balance your full range like that, but sometimes you don't need to.
I guess only the old guys can
How
drink
little
beer,
equity
right, Mark?
would I have to have
Only us old guys can drink beer and handle it. Play
to
poker.
to count for downs? I'd have to have like less than 10% equity, right? I mean, it'd have to be a terrible call.
Yeah, somewhere around there would be
Like
around.
a
That's
like a
around what I'm
gutter on
fishing
the
for there.
river or something. Like a gutter on the turn, and I call the jam.
Even that's too much.
He's going back there.
Okay, so like 1 over.
6 call, 7 fold.
No, I'm over here
8 bet
hoping,
50,
I'm over here
9
hoping
fold.
they got an alternate ready for me. And, somebody's here.
Chris is going to ISO the early position limp with his ace-10 suited.
1 raise, 150, 2 fold, 3 fold.
Blake's going to
4 fold, 5
3-bet the king-jack suited.
fold.
These girls have it out.
I'm not swinging.
He's going to start applying pressure straight away with a reasonable hand in position.
8 call.
He knows he has to call.
Chris can do a mix of completing or 4-bet bluffing, depending on what he thinks his opponent's frequencies are here. Generally lean towards just a flat. Realize your equity.
Downs that I deal.
That's your range. I'm gonna let you bluff it.
Alright, watch out.
Backdoor flush draw comes in here for Blake. Definitely a good time to start barreling and denying some equity and getting your opponent off some ace-high hands here.
1 bet, 175. 8 fold.
That's exactly what happens.
Probably lots.
Gonna take down another small pot.
Probably hammer's good. So I fold the king jack.
Yeah.
I had a lot of hearts. 1 heart.
He needs to lose a good hand and then he'll shut up for a little while. Right? But Kevin's like, you gotta hook him up, huh? No, I wanna hook him up.
My cockiness is suffocating.
Just a wee bit.
What's going on, Dante? How are you doing tonight? Thanks for joining us.
Which one? One of the two Kevins are gonna get you.
7 fold.
Okay?
I know which one you
8 fold. 9 bet, 35. 1 fold, 2 fold.
$35 open from Jeffrey with the Jack-9 suited.
One of the Kevins will rub it in more than the other.
Gonna get some action from Barber with the pocket 4s.
Yeah, the mass Kevin would rub it in worse.
3 players.
He's like
You, I
the,
feel like I owe.
he's like
I
the
feel like I
little-
owe a couple of pots.
Looks like Kevin came in with a limp call from early position as well.
5
The
bet,
king 3 suited.
6 fold.
I owe some pot bet to Kevin.
and so does KY.
Barber's just gonna go for a lead here, trying to get some protection with his 4s.
No, I did.
Be a dangerous
But I
play
went all in,
against
but that was
some aggressive opponents.
But I had him crushed. I should have just called or folded.
A pot debt is an accumulated,
See if he goes for another lead here.
accumulated nasty suck out. Like that one I gave you.
Yeah, I think about half pot.
I owe you.
Try and really charge those overcards to see a river.
But I should have just called and preserved the $1,500-1,600 bucks. That was stupid. That's all right.
Just take it down.
But the hell of it is, I just knew I had him and I didn't.
Generally, I wouldn't advocate for a leading strategy unless you really know your opponents. It's just too easy for in position players to start punishing you.
Forgot the hand.
It's one of those plays that works a lot better at low stakes, and you start to phase it out as you go up in stakes. These players are just so aggressive, and they'll just start raising and
It was painful.
really put their foot on your neck.
Kick my dog on. God, no, kick.
Everybody likes
My
like,
dog is
there's a
too
couple
cool.
bobs that everybody eats around here. It's like a triple type place, whatever. So they get there. Then obviously,
Figure of speech.
Mexican food, Mexico's really good around here. It's a little bit something like that. If you want something like random, it's
Your dog what? Holy shit.
Yeah, we don't really have anything like crazy up there.
Must have grabbed her
More
wrong.
like towards Austin or like the main or something like that.
Is it a dog that typically bites? No, because my dog has never bit
Yeah,
anybody.
35.
Wow.
10 years old.
Boy, he must have grabbed her hindquarter or something.
9 raised, 100. One fold.
Early position raise here with the ace-6 suited. Generally fine in live poker.
3 fold.
If you're not getting 3-bet very much, then you open it up. If you're getting 3-bet a lot, you just let it fold or only play it in later positions. Jeffrey's gonna put in the 3-bet straight away. You're gonna get some cold calls from the hijack and the button. Chris might decide to bluff here, seeing all this dead money.
Big call.
Just decides to complete though, realizes equity. And his ace is good. You know, the eights, pocket eights here, Kevin's flop middle set. It's gonna be pretty dangerous for Chris's ace here. You can probably get away though, his kicker's a little weak.
Yeah, sometimes, yeah. And I come on Wednesdays, maybe twice a month.
150.
Sometimes like Mondays, sometimes just like here, or Thursdays. I go to San Antonio once or twice a week also.
Oh, cool. Is that you live in South Austin? Or is
No,
it just,
no,
you just
I live in
travel?
San Marcos.
San Marcos. Oh, yeah. I think I
But
remember
right-
that now.
Yeah, yeah, it's right between.
Yeah. Now I'm
Heads up to the turn here.
hard on over here.
Chris is hoping for backdoor diamonds here, maybe a
San
6.
Antonio Card House. I've played at Rounders several
Unbeknownst to him,
times, but I like this.
6 would be
San
no
Antonio
good.
They play this 1-2 match, and it gets huge. Oh, but it's a good play. It's
Eight
just
check.
fun.
I've heard it's really, really good down there.
Yeah.
Is that your experience?
Yeah, no, it's real good play. A lot of old cats, older than me.
Really?
It's hard to believe, but I'm being very serious.
And it draws an older audience?
Well, but it's a big mix. I mean, it's a big card room, and they have a really good full-service food and bar. Huh?
It's bigger than this place,
Oh, it's 3 times.
but not as big as
Check on the turn. Kevin's figuring that Chris is going to be able to get away from his weaker aces on the turn if he bets, so he's setting a trap for the river. Going to try and entice a lead that he can raise, or just go for a meaty bet on the river that Chris doesn't believe. Actually get paid off.
Stress-free. It's only about 5 minutes less.
I'd like to see at least $500 bet here from Kevin. Really charge those top pairs. I just have to see a showdown.
Oh, really? That's where Big Daddy Chad calls home.
And Chad plays it.
Looks like he's gonna go more like 400,
300, 8 calls.
300.
I'm sorry?
We got a set of 8s. 300?
When your opponent snap calls like that, it generally means you bet too small. You missed out on some value. Not the worst thing in the world, you still got paid. But you want to juice up those sizings and make them have to think a little bit and get the max.
So the place you're talking about, San Antonio Poker Palace.
No, that one closed. They didn't pay a bad beat, okay.
Our ad there you just saw is for our Independence Day
You know what's weird is I wonder what's happening.
200K guarantee. We're running up in Dallas. If you'd like to come up and play, $250 buy-in, multiple flights, every day, 10 a.m., 6 p.m., 29th to the 2nd. You got a shot at winning somewhere between 30 and 50,000 for first, depending on how many entries we get there.
He must have moved, I agree.
We usually got a good bit going on up in Dallas, if that's your thing. We also have a complimentary beer on tap at the Harry Hines Boulevard location, if that's your thing, which I imagine it is for some of you.
That's what I can't wait for our restaurant. 90.
Yeah.
So is it gonna be full service?
Another bomb pot here. They're doing them every 30 minutes, give or take.
It's supposed to be nicer than Las Colinas, which is, I've seen pictures of it. And bar, yeah.
John Earl with top set on bottom and a flush draw up top. Pair of aces with a flush draw, so looking pretty good. Gonna get some action from the king high flush draw by Kevin. Kevin's drawn pretty slim. He does have a gut shot up top. But with a paired board now, it's gut shot's not going to be good very often.
The options there.
Yeah,
7 bet, 275.
Well, I'm betting a pot at 270.
270, 270, sorry, yeah.
He can still hit a gutter on bottom, but
6
Yeah.
fold.
not enough to continue, so John Earl's just going to take it down.
I had the king cards.
Always nice to win a bomb pot.
Coming paired, I'm going, I don't have anything on the bottom, I'm getting the hell out.
Real easy to play a big one and lose it all.
I was showing you a way out. Showing you the way out.
Oh, I love it, there you go. Yeah, that turns into the stage,
missed revenue, you know?
I'm doubling you up.
All these people are captured. I even wonder why the lodge brings in these outsiders. Of all places, they need to have restaurants.
Well, what's happened, Lodge, they had decent food for a while, now they're all fucked up.
Yeah, I mean, they have outside people do it, obviously. I don't know.
They've lost contracts or something, I don't, Steinway maybe more than me.
9 bet, 35, 1 fold, 2 fold, 3 folds, 4 fold,
Another ace queen.
5 folds.
Ace queen early position from Jeffrey. Gonna get some action by Barber's ace 9 suited on the button. Chris is gonna put in a limp re-raise bluff here with the ace 5 offsuit. Not a bad candidate if you think your opponents are opening pretty light. I think you can just pick up the dead money.
9 call, 5
Prefer to have suited, of course, but can't always have exactly what you'd like. You only get to play so many hands in live poker.
3 players.
And a flat middle pair. See if he decides to go for a small value bet or
8 bet, 140.
140. It's about 1/3 pot. Gonna try and get some value from some overcards. Unfortunately for Chris, Barber's got top.
5 call.
He's drawn to a 5 only, or backdoor straight draw for a chop.
Bucky's got 11. Bucky's pretty good. Yeah, it's not bad.
When he barrels here on the turn,
235.
he's kind of preparing to turn his hand into a bluff on the river, I think.
Everything's $10 now, yeah.
5 call.
You definitely want to find some bluffs on the river with your weakest pairs, where you're blocking some of your opponent's sets and their 2 pairs that can call you, especially on a run out like this.
8 check.
But he's just going to give it up.
Check, check. All right, I'll be looking at 9s with an ace.
Looks like he was going for razor thin value.
Dog do you have?
I think it's a little too much.
Oh, that's a good dog, yeah.
We got her, she was 18 months and my son was 18 months. They played together, like, I never had any worries.
Right, right.
She's 10 years old.
What do you guys think of the play so far? Looser, tighter? What were you expecting versus what you're seeing?
Yeah, so the female vet, she was like, oh, it's my fault, I leaned in, and
Oh, wow.
stuff like that. But still, they gotta report it, and
2 fold, 3 fold,
You're hearing about
4
it.
fold. 5-fold. 6 calls, 7
Well, I
calls.
think, I mean, even if it's up to date on a rabies shot, we'll have to do it. So hoping they'll let us call.
Jeffrey's really getting in there. Looks like he's in there with 5 deuce off.
We should have just run it for a quarter. I don't have anything in there.
Button's right. Take it.
I think it's just a hypothesis here. I think our OBS software is labeling the straddle as the under the gun player rather than a third big blind, which is confusing the action slightly.
Yeah.
Doesn't seem to me like he would have been limping 5 deuce. Probably just showing the straddle as an under the gun player instead of a third blind.
Cul-de-sac. Got the kid across the street, took a chunk out of his cat.
Oh, shit.
Two-fold, 3-fold, 4-fold, 5-fold, 6-fold, 7-fold, 8-fold.
Well, it's a straddle.
Yeah, it's a straddle, so there's not
Okay,
going to be chopping yet. You have to make essentially ideas before the hand. Like if it gets too much.
Free money.
So, yeah, since there's 3 blinds, you can't.
Got it, got it.
And in the middle of the hand, you can't really ask. Like,
Okay.
you want to get the 30 or something? So it's kind of got to be like
Middle of the hand.
understood like before. Hey, if it gets back around to it's just 50 and run it.
Right, yeah. So, I had a dog who pulled his gun.
Not a poker. I don't think poker.
There's just different house
And
rules.
like later I found out, no, they really just
Here
give
we,
it away.
we don't like to allow just deals made after people.
We would have never.
You know, we wouldn't run it for price or whatever, things like that. Everybody's in agreement. For various purposes, but as far as like deals prior to.
Okay.
3-fold. 4-bet, 35.
Kevin's gonna open up the 6s. It's about the bottom of the opening range here.
6-fold. It just sounds good when I say it. I actually don't know what I'm talking about ever. 7-fold. 8 call. 9-fold. It's gotta make it sound convincing. Everything. Okay. I have no idea what I'm talking about ever. 2 call.
Just gonna flat the button with queen jack off. Seems pretty fine. And Magic is completing out of the straddle.
I'm not a piece of shit my whole life.
Looks like Magic is not the type to let go if he's getting a good price of just about anything. He's really gonna want to be
4-bet, 35.
putting his foot down post flop.
2-fold.
You're gonna play hands like that.
Thank you.
Not a bad result for the 6s there to take it down on an ace-9-7 board. You're not looking to get too much action.
Yeah, just stay quiet in those situations. We knew you'd get it.
Appreciate your trust. I saw that.
Absolutely.
I saw that. That's why I thought it was like a while ago. I saw it on your.
5-fold.
35.
6-bet, 35. 7-fold.
Kevin's mixing it up here. 5 deuce suited, making it 35. You're gonna play some of these lower connected hands. You definitely want to be raising them, not limping them, so you can represent an overall stronger range. A little bit loose, but if you think that you can exploit your opponents, go for it. Stein's got the ace king, so 5 deuce is going to get punished right away.
Does anyone want Chick-fil-A?
No, thank you. Those flop well, though.
Anybody Chick-fil-A? Gentlemen's
Yeah,
offering?
because I'm not for 175.
You want it?
Yeah, but I
No, I'm
don't.
okay.
Absolutely. Yeah.
I feel bad for like only ordering one thing.
What are you ordering, man?
Chick-fil-A?
Oh, shit. No thanks. I like Chick-fil-A.
And that's probably it. Before you put the order, you might want to ask one more time.
Yeah. I might do that.
I don't know.
Pound one, that's the good thing about it. You
Things
can
that are on 900.
not make a mess and be done with it.
Yeah. Well, yeah. I mean, many options. You want Chick-fil-A, man?
Oh, no, I'm good.
5-fold.
35.
6x35. 7-fold.
Oh, you
Kevin with the ace king now.
8 bet 105. 9-fold. 3-fold.
And Chris with the jiggities. Classic contenders here.
Oh, okay, yeah.
Ace king versus jacks. Seems like we've seen it 1,000 times. May have, actually.
6 raised. 350. Pretty close.
He was, probably had a,
Like the 3-bet, like the 4-bet.
No pair.
he had the family there.
I'm not so sure about the snap fold against the 4-bet.
Take it, take it.
You are pretty deep. You can see some flops.
Dominated then.
Possibly.
He must think his range is
Getting wild.
very, very tight. So there's no reason to play too many pots with him if there's no other dead money in there. Poker is all about making consistently better decisions than your opponents. So sometimes you do have to make plays like that if you realize that they're not 4-betting enough.
Not to mention what you paid for the ring.
Just make sure you don't pay them off when they have it.
How's that work? Hook me up.
1 bet 35.
You're grabbing what? Oh, so it's a family.
Blake with the ace queen. We're really seeing some ace queen, ace king going around.
So
He's gonna take it down.
her ring that she
A little bit past Waco and you're going up.
Okay, so I was thinking it was northeast. Yeah.
Yeah, it's not quite to Dallas, but it's close by.
Population 3,500.
No, that's more like Whitney, Texas. No, he'll throw. I mean, really, you might not be that far off. It might be like 15,000.
Oh, it's that many, okay.
Oh, I didn't even. I don't really know because I'm assuming that it grew a little bit, but I didn't check the population.
And that's where you grew up?
Oh, that's where just my family. Yeah, I visit there, but I didn't really grow up.
6 and bring yours back out. 7-fold, 8-fold, 9-fold. Thank you.
Where'd you
1-fold.
stay?
What part of Houston?
2 bet 35. 4
west.
4-fold.
West.
Yeah, Memorial area, and then continued moving further west and further west. They ended up in Katy.
Yeah.
5-fold, 35, 6-fold.
Still there.
Heads up.
Lived in Pearland a little bit.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Got some mystery cards here. Looks like they didn't get read properly. See if they get updated here in a second.
Pearland, Clear Lake, Kingwood, everywhere.
You're a tennis player also.
Looks like it's just a single raise pot.
No,
Just
I played the
Late position open versus a big blind defend.
no, my brother actually played lower in
yeah.
Magic is going to have the nut advantage here. The overall ranges can be fairly similar. They both have a lot of ace-x, queen-x. But Magic is going to have the most ace-queen, aces, and queens. It's a single raise pot. And Barber didn't 3-bet out of the big blind. Once he puts in this min raise here, he's probably going to have a good amount of queen-x and some small flush draws, like 5-6 of clubs.
Big draw, you know, but then if you
5-3 of clubs, something like that. Could be some bluffs.
bust it every time.
absolutely nice.
Ace, king, spade.
It's like ace king versus queen jack, maybe.
Little spot. Because nobody
like to go big, and that's it.
Yeah, ace king versus queen jack.
It's actually not so bad when I got a
Unfortunate for the ace that he just gets drawn out straight on the turn, but that's the nature of the game.
Cypress. So it's like really close on 290. And also it's like, it kind of just has that Austin feel to it.
The restaurant scene is so good.
Oh yeah.
Tremendous. They did it here as well.
Yeah, but okay, I forgot about that.
Oh, yeah.
Or at least like for the
Ace fold,
a lot of places.
9 bet 35, 1 fold, 2 fold, 3 fold, 4 call 35.
Jeffrey with the 7-8 suited, early position open. Gonna get some action from Kevin on the button with queen jack off. And Kevin C with the 6 suited in the big blind.
You are 4-handed.
John Earl's gonna go ahead and complete from the straddle.
6 check, 7 check,
4-way flop here. Lots of pairs.
9 bet 55.
Kevin's got bottom pair. John Earl's got middle. Kevin's got top. Kevin, Jeffrey's got middle pair. Backdoor flush draw. So everyone's got a small piece.
4 call 6 fold,
I don't carry around, I'm a US citizen papers.
7 fold.
And Jeffrey's just turned dead straight away. He's gonna feel like he's good fairly often considering the top card paired. But it is kind of hard to get value from worse here. I think I would like to see either a check on the flop or a check on the turn if you are gonna bet. Kevin's just gonna lay the trap, let him barrel on the river.
I know you are.
Treasure trove.
9 bet 325.
Jeffrey's really gonna go for 3 streets here with the 7.
I assume that's not on Disney.
It's a bit ambitious, I think.
And 4 call.
Just the call with the queen.
Trip queen.
He's probably thinking he can fold out a hand like pocket 8s or pocket 9s. Personally, after getting action from 2 streets, I'd probably just go either check call or check fold, depending on the opponent. It's going to be kind of hard to find bluffs there, so check fold is probably a superior option if you barrel 2 streets there. You got to remember he bet into 3 or 4 players on the flop. The overall continuing range is going to be a bit stronger.
First time I took a cruise through it, my dad didn't even tell me, and we're going through the Bermuda Triangle, and then he told me after. Just
1
so
bet
Ace queen suited for Blake.
3 fold.
what are you talking about?
Running well, playing well. See how it goes for him. Barber's got pocket 9s on the button. Do a mix of flatting or 3-betting here. Small 3-bet. He 3-bet.
6 fold.
Yeah, right.
Decides to flat.
A lot of pre-stone history around
And Chris is going to come along from the straddle as well.
3 players. Big check.
9s flops the best of it.
Bet 65. 5 call. 8 fold. One check. 5
Blake's going to slow down here once he gets some resistance. Barber's probably feeling pretty good with his 9s here. The only hands that really get here, ace 10 suited and ace jack.
One bet 200.
And ace 10 probably doesn't check the turn. So it's really ace jack or nothing. Maybe some traps from some over pairs. But kind of a mandatory call with nines here, I think. Kind of at the top of your range, and it's a pretty narrow range your opponent is representing. I think you just close your eyes and put in the money. You only have to be right about 30% of the time here.
Five call.
Yep, he's going to put in the call.
We're getting that.
See the good news.
We're getting that 90s.
Finally thought of one.
Good call.
Motherfucker always thought they were going to call
Finally,
someone could have said
Blake's still up 2.3K even after that hand. Kevin's up 1,000. Kevin Y up 700. Not bad being a little over an hour into the stream here.
One fold. Two bet 35. Three fold. Four fold. Five fold. Six fold. Seven fold. Eight fold. Nine fold.
Magic's gonna raise 6-4 suited from early position, a bit loose. Jeffrey defends 10-7 suited from the straddle. Gonna outflop him here with middle pair and a backdoor flush draw. Magic's drawn pretty thin here. It's only backdoors. Backdoor straight, backdoor trips and two pair. And just completely dead now. Jeffrey's loving that turn, just hoping he's against an ace. Yeah. The only way he makes money is checking that river. Going for a check raise, which is generally a mistake. People just aren't bluffing enough. So you kind of have to put the money in the pot yourself. Try and charge them when they've got something.
You've done a lot with those cards. They're just slippery.
Stiff and slippery, yeah. So if your hand gets out of the way, like at any point in time.
You need to be watched anyway.
It's kind of a good way to watch right now.
and let's face it, the ride in Six Flags are like 3 times more important.
10 out.
Very, very kid oriented.
Two fold. Three bet 30. Four fold. Excuse me, five fold.
And the first time I wrote it,
Six call.
carried it,
Seven fold.
and then I went back and they slowed it down like 30
Stein's gonna find some bad news here when Chris wakes up with kings.
really as fast as it was.
8 bet.
Nice to have some nice hands in your small blind, because most of your range is coming in for a 3-bet or fold. So when you've actually got it, you actually get action a little bit more from your opponents, especially because they're playing in position post flop. People tend to call a little bit wider. As you can see here, he's getting action from pocket fives and ace 9 off.
You sit facing outwards in a big circle.
Alright. 3 players.
It doesn't go all the way around. You get like 3/4 of the way up.
King's still ahead.
And like I said,
5s, has a gutter and trip draw still.
3 check. 6 check.
Interesting that Chris decides to check on this board. Probably going for a check raise with the king of hearts in his hand.
3 call.
Yeah, right.
6 fold.
Do they still have the X Factor?
Heads up.
Dallas?
It's like it's the one in California, in Southern California.
Oh, it is, oh, yeah.
It's Six Flags and Magic Mountain. Yeah.
Haven't been there before.
It's just crazy. They have like a roller coaster, but it's got 2 axes. So
8 bet 275.
you go on a normal roller
Go for a
coaster,
small bet here,
and it
trying to get
also
called by
turns
all 1 pair hands, pretty much.
It's
1 pair hands with a heart.
And 3
It's just a
call.
vomit on that.
Ew.
And that Kings.
I've never heard that term before.
Well played from Chris. Generally, if you want to be check raising over pairs on the flop on some board textures like this, I think the superior hand it is when you don't have a heart, because your opponents are going to see bet some backdoor flush draws and some flush draws more often when you come in for your raise.
That's a lot of fun.
But it's such a minute detail; it's not really going to matter at these stakes.
I dig that.
No, did I watch that one when I went? Just broken down.
Always good to balance that checking range a little bit with some stronger hands like some overpairs. Not a super high frequency play, but it's good to work in there.
Yeah,
Man, it
Rattler.
was a rattler. Just jar your freaking, just jar every tooth out of your jaw, man. I hated that fucking ride.
They don't have it anymore?
No, they got rid of it. They upgraded it.
Oh, they didn't get rid of it.
3 fold, 4 fold.
Okay.
It's still called the
Oh,
Rattler.
really? Okay.
Yeah.
Just rattle your tits off, man.
They needed to secure that thing. Man.
I see an open here. Nope, just a limp from Kevin. It's a 9-7 suited.
I wrote it once and I said,
Good enough for an open in the hijack, I'd say. But limping's probably acceptable as well.
And that's why I don't do roller coasters. That's the first one I ever rode. And I was like, never again.
If your blinds aren't squeezing you out of the pot very much, you can definitely see some flops in position with some suited connectors without having to risk as much.
So ever since then, I'm like, I'm not doing this every game. 2 check, 6
You
check.
win.
See you next time.
Ace high just takes it down. I would have liked to have seen some stabs on the turn with the 9-7. See if we can deny some equity or get some with some folds from some king high or ace high hands.
Didn't go. 4 fold, 5 fold, 6 fold.
Kevin just folds the ace 4 suited early position. If you're not comfortable playing the wheeled aces as much, just let it go. But if you feel pretty comfortable post flop, you can definitely work in some ace 5, ace 4, ace 3 suited into some opens and even some 4-bet bluffs if your opponent's 3-betting you fairly wide. Pretty standard here from Jeff and Blake. Ace 10 off on the button and a 3-bet with jacks from the small. No reason to get frisky with ace 10. It's going to be quite tough to play against a small blind 3-betting range post flop, even in position. If you flop a 10, you don't know if you're good. If you flop an ace, you don't know you're good. Tough to make straights. So it's a little bit easier. Just let it go, let him have it.
Sorry, no, the next hand is bomb pot, guys. Five fold. 6 bet 35. 7 fold. 8 raise 105. 9 fold. 1 fold.
Ace-7 off opens from early position. It's a bit loose.
2 fold. 3 fold.
You learned your lesson last time?
There's been a decent amount of 3-betting, so it's a little bit out of line, I think, to open up this wide. He decides to call as well, take a flop.
Heads up.
Fortunately, he's dominating Chris here. He's 9-7.
Check.
6 check.
It's gonna be tough to play.
8 check.
Check.
6 check.
Yeah, Chris is gonna stab here. Nice little stab. Deny some equity from hands like Kevin has exactly.
6 fold.
If you are going to open up some hands like that that are on the looser side, when you get 3-bet, you just have to let them go, because your opponents are pretty decent aggressive players. They're just going to really punish you, and you're just going to put in extra money for no good reason. Sometimes you have to test the waters though, see how everyone's playing a little bit. If you haven't played in a hand in a while, sometimes you're going to be tempted to play some hands like that.
What was out there? Don't give us some cards, just in case.
Yeah, you can.
Looks like we're playing a bomb pot here, $10 ante from each player. Pot limit Omaha, 2 boards. Three diamonds up top,
3 check.
and a relatively dry king-high board on bottom.
5 check, 6 check, 7 check, 8 check.
Looks like Kevin's the only player with diamonds, as far as I can see.
1 fold, 2 fold, 3 fold. 4 call.
Kevin's gonna call with his jack-high diamond draw and pocket jacks on bottom.
5 fold, 6 fold, 7 fold, 8 fold. Alright, heads up.
And Jeffrey's gonna continue here with his pocket queens. He does have the king-high diamond blocker, so he can apply some pressure on that top board, knowing that no one has the nut flush.
Bet 225.
I like to bet. You know you're not good on both boards, and you know you block the strongest hands on one. Kevin has to decide here, if he's calling the turn, what's he going to do on the river, you know? Once you put in that much money, it's hard to fold the river. So he's just going to make the disciplined lay down here. You had the best of it, but it's hard to find bluffs and bomb pots especially. So most of the time your opponents are just going to have it. Really nice play there, finding the bluff in the bomb pot.
You the whole night?
2 hours. Well, a little over 2 hours. I started at like the 5:45 hour and then did about something. The street's 4 hours long. We split it up.
Okay, got it.
10 to go. This is easier than the first come in and out in the middle. This is kind of where all the guys is. 6 fold, 7 fold, 8 bet 35, 9 fold,
Chris finds the jack 10 suited in the low jack.
2 fold, 3 fold. Huh? What did you say to me?
See if Barber defends straddle here with the 9-3 suited.
No, I'm gonna need you to stay back there.
Just decides to give it up. Fine play.
I don't mind you.
I wouldn't mind it either way.
I'll tell you what, why don't you play Sudoku while you're back there?
Against a more passive opponent, I'll go ahead and defend it. And against an aggressive opponent, I fold it probably.
Stay back there and
Oh, yeah,
take a nap.
Are you from Philly? Are you from Philly?
definitely.
John
Are you
says,
from
yeah.
Philly?
About the ambiance of the restaurants.
So I heard something about how you said Sudoku.
There's this
I do talk very often. People don't think I'm actually from Texas ever. I think it's because I talk kind of like out the side of my mouth a little.
something.
Oh, okay,
I don't know.
okay.
But they make you feel like you're going up to outer space. You get on this elevator,
I'm not a
they
lollipop
take you up, and you get off on the, it's really just the second floor of the building. It's right behind that, kind of behind that.
7-fold, 8-fold, 9-fold, 1-fold, 2-fold,
Yes.
3-fold,
Yeah, I think
4-fold.
it's called Space 220. Bro, that is the craziest restaurant. And you get off,
It's a walk-off.
they built it like a space station.
I was ahead.
The windows, which are
The straddle gets a walk. Not a bad $7 there.
working space station. All of it.
Straddle and get the blinds.
Oh, they were like, and like the little space, yeah, like this, like every, like once in every like 5 minutes or something, they'd have a little spaceman float across the screen like in an astronaut suit. They'd be like, oh my God, Daddy,
Maybe I'll mess up more so that way you can call me out on things. Wouldn't that be good for the
Good,
show?
right? Like,
yeah. You get, and if you get your kids in a sweet spot where they're like advanced enough to understand what's going on, but not smart enough to like rule out the logic of things, you know? Everything's just magical.
1 bet 35. 2 call, 3-fold, 4-fold,
Blake's gonna open up the Jack-10 off and the low Jack.
5-fold.
Slightly loose, but he's a fairly aggressive, competent player from what I've seen so far, so he can definitely swing it.
I got 4
If
plays.
anybody 3-bets, easy lay down.
6 check. 7 check.
Blake's gonna flop the gutter.
1 check. 2 check.
Kevin's got the flush draw, king high flush draw.
6 bet 75. 7-fold. 1-fold. 2-fold.
Kevin just takes it down, king high. Not a bad result.
What did you get? Han Solo went to
The cantina.
but you have this, that's a sign-up deal?
It's hard to get in, right?
All this stuff's hard to get in.
Yeah.
Nine-fold. 1-fold.
Moving,
2-fold. 3-fold.
I was always that way, right? No, it's a
4 bet 35.
they had this in
5-fold. 6-fold.
Well, and it's like,
7-fold.
locked in, the experience, like,
Kevin's gonna take it down, opening the ace-8 and the cutoff.
spend 3 days inside.
they had this big door at the back of the Star Wars area in Hollywood. Was it Hollywood Studios where that was? Yeah, in the back there. And they said the reason for that giant door in the back by where you get that moon juice is they would roll the ship up there and they would park it there and open that door and the people would get off the ship, their hotel ship, and come in that way. That's the reason that door was there. And so.
One
Yeah,
fold.
yeah, I guess that's not going to be a service.
2-fold. 3-fold. 4-fold. 5 call.
Yeah.
Barber's gonna limp the king-9 suited in the cutoff.
3-fold. 9 check.
Kevin's gonna over-limp the button, king-10 off.
3 players.
And Jeffrey's gonna check his option out of the straddle.
I would February. So that's how common.
9 check.
King 10 has the best of it so far.
Yeah.
9 check.
See who wants this pop more.
5 check.
Just about anybody can bet and take it.
6 bet 20. 9 fold.
Did you go on that Avatar ride with the little bicycle?
Barber's going to float with his king high. He's going to be good sometimes against some Jack 10, Queen Jack, Queen 9 type hands.
5 check.
I got a king high too.
Oh, I got king 9.
Oh,
king
son of a-
10. Deuces king 10 will play.
Nuts, see? The nuts.
That
Fucking
is
A.
so nuts.
Now who's getting cocky?
No.
Look at this guy.
You taught me well.
We talk about that.
I would have preferred an open with the king 9 suited.
Non-stop.
King 10 off might fold on the button there, and maybe just take it down straight away. If not, play against the blinds with a fairly, middle strength hand.
Yeah, basically identical. I couldn't even figure out what had happened. Like, I couldn't figure out that they had raised it because they used a smoke screen. And it wasn't until about 3/4 of the way the ride.
I had Chick-fil-A and then I realized I was like pointing to the wrong place on the map. And so I changed it and then the restaurant changed. And,
Did you get that from the restaurant right over here?
I don't even know what some restaurant I never heard of.
Yeah.
Yeah, some Chinese restaurant obviously.
2 bet 35. 3 fold.
Yeah, the one right here in the center is pretty good.
4 fold.
What's it called?
G-Lo.
Zing
Oh,
Long.
that's okay.
Yeah, that's the one.
Yeah,
It's all right.
Magic's going to open up King Jack here from early position.
Easy there, killer.
8 call, 9 fold.
Gonna get some action from Jack 10 suited on the button. John Arl can
I got 4 plays.
flat or 3-bet here. He's a little bit shorter, so he's just opting to flat, see if he can flop something with a relatively low stack to pot ratio.
8 check. 1 check. 2 bet 50.
Chris flops the top pair after flatting with Queen Jack offsuit from the small blind. Got the best of it so far, but Magic's got the most equity, open-ended with an overcard, backdoor flush draw.
8 call.
Pretty reasonable from all players. Blake's also got the top pair.
300.
Interesting raise here. Trying to fold out better queens potentially and get action from draws. It's sort of a merge bet.
7 fold, 8 fold.
You can fold out hands like Queen 8 and Queen 9 and get action from hands like King Jack. Facing the 3-bet jam though, now you're in a real tough spot.
Wow. Cock-a-doodle-doo.
Nice play with Magic there.
Well
3-bet
done.
jam, take it down, realizes how much equity he has and just
He didn't even think about
pushes it
all that money in there.
as far as he can.
Snap that shit in. You're like, fuck this. What was your kicker?
Like a 4 or something. Not a great kick.
Well, there you have it.
Queen deuce of spades. Not a good hand. I think I'm kidding. You gotta put any money on it?
Yeah.
Put $100.
5 10 please.
Not really.
You know I'm not lying.
Declined.
How do I know that you're not lying?
You did not have the deuce of spades.
John Earl's getting pretty short stacked here. He might make a move soon. Just try and double or triple up.
I did
Yeah,
that off the whole bad. This is the
6
seat
fold,
that gets
7
messed up too, right by the dealer.
Jeffrey's gonna open it up out of the small blind with King Jack suited.
You win. He can't validate it.
And just take it down.
Well, you chose the queen. Why?
Because it didn't play, it didn't matter.
The deuce didn't play. Of course it played. It was like queen 10 something. But
Okay, there's 2 more cards coming. Unless it's more than the deuce, it's not gonna play. It's not relevant to my decision of whether to call it.
agreed.
Bozo? Your dad didn't beat you enough, apparently. Apparently.
Five fold, 6 bets, 35. Seven's all in.
Ace 10 suited here for Kevin, and John Earl's gonna rip it. Gonna try and double up here.
What the fuck, over?
He's hoping he's flipping at least.
Well, what do you have? Let me see what you have, and then I'll decide. Okay, show me one card.
You're not gonna pay me off. I don't know what you
What's
have.
he got, like 380 there?
Show him the low one.
He said, you're not gonna pay me enough.
360.
Bit of a tough spot here. You have to kind of guess how wide John is shoving. He's probably shoving hands like 10-9 suited, Jack 10, Queen Jack, Jack, and Queen. You're ahead of a decent amount of his range. You're flipping against all his low pairs.
Oh, fuck.
Oh, ace 10?
Diamond!
Oh,
Oh, you're in trouble.
Reroll here for Kevin.
Oh, diamond!
No trouble.
Alright. Don't pay me off on that.
See, I gave you some action. Mediocre shit.
That's the best hand I've seen all night. You're giving me
I was gonna say,
action.
you've been waiting for ace 10.
That's
Getting a little
exactly what I've been
loose in our
waiting
old
for.
age, I think. We got
It'd be a snap call.
snap call. You got $35 in the pot. That's $300.
Yeah, 360. But see, you're a professional big baller over there, man. I'm just an old dude kind of trying to get a new cane for tomorrow.
Hey,
A walker, not a cane.
oh, I thought you said hey. A new window pane.
Five fold, 6 fold, 7 fold, 8 fold.
Jeffrey's gonna play the 10-8 of hearts here. They cut off. Definitely a fine open. Get some action from Blake.
3 fold.
Gonna get action from all the blinds. Fairly reasonable hands all around.
2 check.
Kevin just flops a flush. Beautiful.
9 check.
Very nice on the big blind and the straddle to just always get to see the flop with your suited hands. You get to flop the most flushes. And no one ever believes you.
Yeah.
See if he slow plays it or fast plays it here.
4 call.
Just a flat. A bit dangerous with the lower diamonds, but that's the name of the game.
Heads up.
Gotta let Blake barrel off a little bit here. Not the worst diamond on the turn. You're beat by the overcards here, but at least you have a redraw to the straight flush. You get an 8 of diamonds, you're straight flush, so it's not like he's drawing dead all of a sudden.
1 bet 200.
Blake's turning his hand into a bluff here, trying to get some of these low diamonds to fold. Wow, he gets the fold straight away.
I did have a queen. Of diamonds on the board.
Queen of diamonds on the board, eh?
I thought you were just,
He was just the button. Definitely just because he was last acting.
oh, no, yeah, no, there were.
I try to get the hands out there pretty quick in the first round.
What's happening with you?
I smell some good cards in the air.
Oh, we got live 20.
When you got a feeling,
Got a feeling.
Must be getting dark outside. Things are getting wild.
well,
Close to dark for Kevin. It's good.
Talk shit.
All I do get. 7
not
bet,
right,
60,
man.
8 fold, 9 fold.
John Earl with the ace jack suited. You'd go for a bit larger open than they've been going.
Traveling to 20 now.
Get some action from some worse spades here in the cutoff.
3-fold, 4-fold.
And the button 6-7 suited as well. The 6-7 suited could 3-bet sometimes, but John Earl's very short stacked, so he's just trying to see a flop here. And Kevin's going to wake up with aces in the straddle.
6 raise, 345, 7.
Oh, looks like it was a double straddle that hand. That's why it was a $60 open there.
Two-fold.
Look what you started.
It's a good play for that.
Rip it. It's gonna be a little bit more.
Aces is looking pretty good here.
I'm feeling you're better than ace 10 this
John Earl
time.
needs to see some spades.
By one.
He's got 367.
I can still fold though, right?
You have the option.
350, you said.
Oh, he's in there. All right, he makes the call. Okay.
Oh, and I'm sure
He's getting great odds.
You're pretty fucked. You need help.
Oh, no.
Oh man.
Oh shit, diamond.
It's not diamonds.
Aces and fours of the king.
It's been fun. Have a good one, y'all.
Take it easy, John.
See you, buddy.
John Earl's out of here. Nice game. Unfortunately, ran a little card dead.
Those cards. You willed those cards into.
Yeah, see it open
When he
straight.
finally started to get some hands, he ran into
Yeah, that was pretty good.
ace ten and
I mean,
Ace
really,
fucking
really
perfect.
good timing on
Because if I'm under the gun there, I'm not gonna get a big all in there. Well, I might have, because I don't know what he's.
yeah, it kind of sucks getting aces. In.
Yeah, here's the guy you don't get our.
Said he had one better. I assume that means ace jack.
That was timeless.
Wow. So now we got another line 20 out. We got another line 20. Do you have anybody on the
Let me know if you need lessons on how to do that, how to time that, okay?
Okay, I will. Yeah, if you could,
Brimming with confidence.
No, let's just sit to love talking shit to him.
9 bets?
Looks like they might be double straddling to 20 now.
in the money. Noted.
At least
I
some
was talking about
players.
the timing of
One
the
call,
straddle,
2
the
fold,
feeling,
3 fold,
Yeah, the
4
good.
fold,
feeling.
feeling it.
5 fold, 6 fold. We're going to get 10 from you though.
22 for Chris.
Yes, it was just your hand.
I'm gonna smoke
And
That was the 2 reds that I threw you. No,
was
Yep,
it?
so we got Queen Jack suited versus King 10 suited and pocket sixes. Seems pretty standard all around. Sixes is gonna flop the best of it.
8 check.
I know.
Middle pair and a gutter. Jeffrey's got the backdoor flush draw and Blake's got the hope and a dream.
Card dead.
I think so.
Yeah, plus draws.
Just walked into 8.
What are you gonna do?
1 fold. Try to get there. He's got the diamonds locked up. Where are you going? Yeah. 8 bets, 250.
Sixes is gonna find a raise here. This board is definitely better for the straddler, and you're definitely gonna be ahead of a lot of the c-betting range of your opponents. You're gonna either run into the top of their range or run into their air. And there's gonna be a lot of air in there for a lot of players. So you can, even without the gut shot, the sixes is gonna be good on a very similar board texture to this quite often. See if Jeffrey might have some nefarious intentions here. He just lets it go. I think he was thinking about getting out of line there a little
Really
bit.
nice hand.
I had
If you did have it, you were a freaking nick.
I had something.
Something.
Really, a Scotch fan.
They don't put out a bottle.
Yeah. I don't
Is there
get
nothing
it.
back there? In the room?
On Wednesdays, we have a big time over there playing the
Scotch in the
Steve at 7. Scotch and everything flowing.
It's like straight scotch. I play poker. You still think
There you go. I believe that.
Oh, okay, so it's just a preference over the place, not like an actual. Ah, you're 10.
Fine.
9 fold. That's fair. One fold. I just always think it's like, when people say like, oh, you can do this, but you can't do that. It makes no sense. Like how I have to buy beer at the lodge, but I can't.
Just see if I can set the hook on you.
And I was like, what liquor license is that? I've never heard of that.
Attaboy.
All right,
Much
three
as
players,
that
5,
pains
6,
you.
and 8.
Yeah, I know, it did.
Yeah.
I didn't quite see how these hands got in there. I guess small blind, big blind completed, and straddle check back.
5 call. 6 call. 3 players.
Chris with the best of it with a pair of 8s. And Kevin's just going to hit a gutter straight away.
Check.
There's a spade on board, which makes him a little bit more cautious.
8 check.
But you got to be feeling pretty good with the straight here. And now 4 spades, about the worst river card imaginable for Kevin.
8 checks.
No
Look at that.
straight. Look, I got it straight.
All right, let me look at it straight with 5 9s. 5 9s in there. 5 9.
I said,
Put there all those freaking spades out.
Yeah.
Because one of you clowns got to have a spade. 6 clowns in the night.
All right, 2 5 10 for me, please. Thank you, thank you. Kevin, bring them back out, please. 1 fold.
Magic's got the pocket 9s.
2 bet 35.
Definitely worth an open. One of my personal
3 raise,
favorites.
10. 4 fold.
And Stein with the ace king.
5
Everybody loves ace king. Big slip. Wow, and Kevin with queens. Got some premiums all
fold.
around.
Raise 425. 8 fold. 9 fold.
And a nice meaty raise too.
2 fold. 3 fold.
Well, I got to raise those up, don't I?
Wow, and ace king just folds facing the fourth bet.
Fuck no. You have an ace?
Got him to fold king.
Ace king?
oh, that was fun to see that raise.
Sweet.
I don't like folding ace king.
What's that? Yeah. I have a reputation. You see all the other shit I've been playing, you'd be like, ah, damn.
2, please.
Yeah. Yeah. Love it.
I feel like that pot should have been a lot bigger. But somehow
All right, give me 1 second.
everybody folded
2 fold,
pre-flop.
3 fold, and your straddle. Not active on you yet, but 4 bet 35, 5 fold, 6 fold, 8 fold, 9 fold.
Kevin's gonna wake up with king queen here in the hijack and just take it down.
Use 10, please.
Looks like mashed cauliflower.
All right, next hand will be a small pot, guys.
Get it all over the card.
Whatever tilts you.
Looks like something you should deep fry quickly.
Kevin, I don't know what's going on with these, but they keep running back.
Really?
I don't know.
That's weird.
Maybe if you delete 7, he's not coming back. 3 fold, 4 fold, 5 fold.
Hey, you remember Sam's Cheeto fingers last week?
6 bet.
Yeah.
35.
That was the most egregious.
That was a hygiene.
Then you got them all over the cards.
He had all over his fingers. He just grabbed them.
8 bet, 105, 9 fold.
We were like,
One
wash
fold.
your hands.
Got an open from the cutoff with ace 7 off, and a 3 bet from the button with ace king. Seems fine from both players. And Chris just going to take it down.
Do you want to get John off of there so that way you can see what's about there?
We got some real gamblers here in the chat. Everybody's
Scandal.
running out their points.
The Cheeto Angler.
Okay.
Cheeto Cheeto.
Kevin Bob Pop? Yeah. Well, I guess both Kevins, both y'all are looking away.
Is everybody here in the chat Austin regulars, or do you guys play at the TCH in Dallas or
But if Sang was cheating, he'd do
down in Houston or anything like that?
a rough night.
He did?
I think he was only in for one buy-in, right?
Really?
I think people were doubling up early. I'm not
So he
sure.
didn't lose that.
I think it was a big roller coaster because I think he was down to like 50 and then he ran it back up to like
I must have missed
over 1,000 or
winning.
something.
All right, we'll get to that. One check, two check, three check, four check, five check, six check, eight check.
Looks like we got Mark from Dallas. Are you the Mark who plays the Marks game?
One call.
Another bomb plot here. Looks like they may have done a $20 ante this time.
Four fold. Five call.
No, $10 ante still.
Six call. Eight fold.
Beautiful hand for Barber here with the aces, ace high flush draw, and all the Broadway backup.
Four players.
Nice to see you here, Mark.
One check. Five check. Six check. Nine check.
And the heart is wasted for up top for Barber here, but River and
Five
top
check.
set's not so bad either. Only 5-6 beats him.
Nine check. Showdown. Four hands.
Set of eights on the bottom.
Trips on the bottom.
Set of
And
aces.
Blake's gonna take the top with a 6 high straight.
Set of threes top board. You got the wheel at ace five. 6-3. You have the bigger straight.
Oh, yeah.
You have the bigger straight.
Oh, yeah, look
You
at
have
that
straight
found.
to the six.
Hey,
I mean, once the flush is out there, I just
look
stop
for some
looking at the
change
whole
in your
board.
couch.
Fives board did not pair on that one. Aces are good for that board. Five and nines not enough cards. 7
Good job to the dealer here. He doesn't get to cheat with the display like us. He's got a 50 cards table in front of him. 26. Half the deck is on the table. He's got to read the whole
Straight's
thing.
gonna be half the pot. The other pot, half pot's gonna be what's in it. Thank you.
We haven't seen any big bomb pots yet. They've all been fairly small. It's a bit atypical for us Dallas regulars.
Came out. Remember that one time that you had the computer right in front of you and you did like, hey, here's the straight to the six. Literally like 60 cards trying to make it.
Back to Hold'em.
It's fine. I'm just looking at all these cards like trying to make hands. I'm like, don't have clubs anymore.
Ooh, and Kevin with the aces straight away.
4 bet 35.
Gonna be very consistent with the raise sizing here. Made 35, 3.5 times the blind just about every time.
2 fold.
And it folds around. What a tragedy. And he just mucks face down. A lot of players will show the aces in that
Where it just
spot,
tells you
but
C5, C1. You know.
he'll just take his money and move on.
It's okay. It makes never brain work. You know? I'm telling you, the worst was like the big air tournaments when they first started playing around here a lot. Everybody saw the river, but no one ever called a hand out by the names. 40 cards. I try to make hands like this, I guess. No one would say what they have. You just like try to find highs and lows. Five full. Sorry. Five's about to figure it out. Six folded out of turn. 1 round penalty. 5 full, 6 fold.
Chris got queens in the hijack here.
1 fold. 2 fold, 3
The
fold.
beautiful ladies. Get some action from the straddle here.
Those are yours this time.
He's got a fade and ace.
I was just premature to the change. 4 check.
Kevin's drawn to backdoor straight draw or an ace.
8 bet 35.
The chickpea is a garbanzo. The one in the set.
He's gonna decide to float. Against small sizing, you're gonna have to float sometimes. Good card to go for a lead on occasionally. If you want to incorporate some turn leads. He might be thinking his ace high is good though, so he doesn't need to turn it into a bluff.
That's right.
It's great.
That's right.
And it's great.
That's why I said it. You should fry that. If you fried it, it would become flop.
And Chris is going to go for some value here. Extra check through on the turn. Probably bet 75, 50 or 75 bucks.
And it's amazing.
It is really good.
8 bet 105.
A little bit larger actually. Trying to make it look like he's missed and get looked up by some lighter hands here. Or trying to make his hand look something like Queen Jack or King Queen.
4 fold. Take it back. What time is it? Is that 45 or 15?
So it is.
2 hours in so far.
Yeah.
I've seen 60 hands. 30 hands per hour, pretty good. Especially on a live stream where it moves a little bit slower. Blake's still our big winner. Kevin's doing pretty well also. Barber and Kevin. Small profit.
So, Kevin's turn?
KJ coming in behind you?
I don't know who's doing it. I think it's supposed to be Jerry Wade. 6 fold, 8 fold, 9 fold, 1 fold. Oh no, he does not. One's gonna take a look. Sorry, he was matching this backdrop.
He's going to open up the
1
ace
bet
5 up.
35.
Another Queen Jack off.
That's right.
Magic's got the ace 5. See what he decides to do.
2 bets 105.
Make it a little 3-bet here. Not a bad candidate to do it with. Nice small raise sizing in position. See if Kevin puts in a 4-bet here. Nope, just going to cold call a 3-bet.
Wonderful.
Blake's going to very wisely get out of the way. Especially after the cold call, he's not loving his hand at all.
Check.
Magic probably c-bets and takes it down here. Make 125, yep.
125.
Kevin's going to see a turn.
Looks like after you put it in the oven, it'll be gray.
It was hot. I made the mistake of putting it back in the refrigerator. It's still a little hot.
It looks like a raw cow heart. From
Definitely the correct play.
As long as it's seasoned well.
It's not that guy. This is beans and a sweet potato.
I would have liked to have seen the ace 5 barrel on the fork,
Healthy.
picking up the wheel draw.
I'm gonna go home. We're gonna have a conversation about chili. Not chili.
4 checks. 2 check. And we see 10s.
Yeah, just checks it back. Just gives up on the hand. Figures Kevin's range is somewhat strong, and he's probably not getting him to fold.
Take it.
I might have tripled off there.
That double straddle, man.
Once I 3-bet bluff pre, I tend to just
Didn't
barrel.
miss you?
Garbage.
Like, I'm just gonna put you to the test with whatever you have.
I'm feeling it. Is that what I gotta
You
say?
go, let's go.
You say
Probably overall a bad strategy, but I just can't help
I got back
myself.
20.
My pocket aces smell like awful.
9.
That's a straddle.
Yes, straddle 20. 1 bet
Blake looks
6.
down at the beautiful pocket sixes. Makes a 60. Looks like there was a double straddle this hand. Gonna make a 3x the straddle. Good spot for Kevin here to put in a 3-bet. Make about 300 bucks.
4 bet, 250.
250, he says.
5 fold, 6
I
fold.
would have liked a little bit larger, being out of position to everybody. Accomplishes about the same thing, though.
Heads up.
Kevin with the wheel draw and Blake with the best of it.
Bet 150.
Nice small bet sizing. Basically says he's going to be c-betting here with his full range. About 1/3 pot. Of course, Blake has to be continuing when he's getting 4-1. Kevin's going to barrel even after he picks up the pair. He recognizes that he likely doesn't have showdown value with the 2, and he's going to have to fold out some middle pair hands, some floats. Going to bet about 2/3 here. Definitely tough for Blake to continue here. He does pick up that gutter, but it's just hard to find bluffs there. He just figures Kevin is always going to have it. He's not going to find enough bluffs. Good on Kevin, though, for finding them. Wouldn't have expected most players to barrel even after they pick up the pair. Most people hit that pair and figure, oh, I've got some showdown value. Let's see the last card and see what happens.
I want to draw some more. Drawing.
2, 5, 10.
Knock me off the gutter, Kevin.
Yeah, 9 fold. 1 fold. 2 fold. 3 bet 35.
Stein's going to open up Queen-10 suited from the cutoff. Very reasonable hand.
Not possible.
Not possible, huh?
Extremely unlikely.
How much do you want to bet?
5 fold.
How much what are the odds you'll give me though?
6 fold.
Straight up.
Straight up.
Straight up?
I gave you a shit ton of information.
It went from impossible to straight up.
8.
You give me 10-1, right?
Kevin's going to complete here from the big blind. Unfortunately, he's dominated by the Queen-10 suited.
Exceedingly unlikely. I'll give you
6 check.
They both flop a gut shot.
Ace king, ace king.
Doesn't match up.
Have each other's outs here.
I know, give me 3-1 final offer. 3-1 final offer.
6 fold.
Like check.
I gave you a 6 check, bro. 3-1 is
3 check.
I'll give you 10-1. I don't be 10-1. We had the same hand?
Queen 10 high is the best of it, but if Kevin leads out here, he probably just
What do you
wins.
got?
Nope.
Yeah, I guess. Would you be truthful or?
Well, you'll see it on
You'll
your
see
video.
Yeah.
10 eyes,
No wonder I couldn't get a freaking
Massive
10.
card reader area.
You couldn't get a 9.
You call it?
10 to 1?
I'll give you 10 to 1. So,
All right, everybody, that's my time. Thank you all very much. Everybody. Much appreciate every single one of y'all.
For 100.
Thank you guys.
And so we're not doing a bomber on the change, only
Y'all
on
are
the
welcome to
15?
do whatever you would like. We're just gonna come back around to 15 as well.
Alright, we'll wait.
Got the dealer change out here.
just say yes or no.
Who we got?
How about you just say yes or no?
Bet against him.
I have no stake in this game. I'm not gonna tell you until you
Fine, we'll wait.
You got him all riled up over there, Danny. Why?
But if I say it now, are you gonna pay out right now? You're not gonna make us wait for the freaking stream to air?
I mean, I'll believe you, but if you're
Yeah, we gotta
lying,
figure
then
it
I'll
out
take it
before
back,
the big
obviously. But yeah,
Okay, but
I'll pay him if you're.
Okay, but the only way I'm gonna say it now is if you state your hand and then pay out. I'm not gonna let you just pay out.
All right, guys.
Wait, is our bet still good though?
Yeah, our bet's still good. We'll just have to wait 10 minutes. Yeah, we'll just have to wait 10 minutes.
Good evening, guys. $10 at Annie's house at the bump up, please.
Hide behind a mask at the table and behind the screen. Just say your hand. I'll say my hand.
Applesauce and shit.
I'm trusting you had like
No, it's
some
not a
suited
fight.
one gapper.
Some kind of. It looks like the same way it's gonna exit. As it's going.
Oh, that tea is fine,
I'm gonna play another bomb pot here, $10 Annie, 8 players.
Well, you do know it's all one now.
On that end, did he check the turn?
Good luck, everybody. All right, bump putt.
Okay, so you might have had ace king.
I
I
already
thought you had
told him
queen.
I think there's no way he can see one hand.
So I doubt he thinks I had ace king. Seeing as
No,
that
he didn't have his king.
They both had like jacks or something.
We could have both had.
Wait, there's a jack on
There
the
was a
board.
jack
wasn't
out there.
Yeah, there was a jack on the board.
Guess not. I guess not. So you can eliminate queens, king, aces, right? So then it's like tens. Do you think it's market fair?
All right.
10 to 9?
It's his first time, everybody.
I know. I didn't even know this was an Annie game.
Check.
Check.
Ace 10-3 board, 2 hearts up top, 10-7-7 on bottom.
Check.
Actually, somewhat similar textures here. There's definitely some scoopability.
6 checks. 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. All the way around. All right.
Check your body.
Here's my queen. I'm sorry. It's just wrong. I get one.
Looks like Blake has set of 6s up top. Jeffrey must have a 7 at least on bottom. Can't see here on the display.
I have the ace.
Ace queen, it looks like.
Pulling the straight.
Gonna scoop the whole thing.
No, I don't.
No.
You don't have seven full.
No, I don't.
Wait.
No, your ace is
yeah,
good.
yeah.
Your
Alright,
ace
alright.
is
Bases with
good.
the queen.
Straight's good.
Straight's good.
Wait, what?
No, straight. You don't even have a
5,
straight.
6, 7, 8.
No, you scoop. Yeah. You're scooping this one.
What's wrong with that?
Putting all those cards around on a straight.
Give me a beer, guy.
Congratulations on your scoop.
Wow. That's an old-timer's moment
Thank
there.
you.
It's funny because we know you actually know better.
Yeah, there was no
But nonetheless, you made
I
it.
usually do. I've only played a million of these. That's pretty funny, though.
Looks like we're all learning how to read hands today.
At least he bluffed one.
Calling on MD. Welcome to the chat.
That was amazing.
He showed it right away. He was like, "That's good."
Wow.
All right, 2, 5, 10 out, please.
Maybe I better rack them up and go home. They're like, no, fuck no. Wow.
Alright.
I mean, at least you only got 80 in there.
Let me go.
What if it had been?
Yeah, that was like a huge pot.
Well, I would have looked at it a little closer, I think.
I mean, you thought you had the nuts straight.
Two
You took all the repots.
Lake wakes up with the pocket eights in early position. Gonna get some action from the king jack from Magic.
The cat's going
Heads
wild.
up to the flop.
They're like, that's fucking idiot.
Always nice. Magic's gonna flop the best here.
2 for 2.
Eights is not really loving this,
Yeah,
especially with no diamond.
This is the first time I've played this PLO shit.
Still might see a turn, we'll see. I'd probably call once at least. Magic's gonna go for some thin value here on the river.
How many value bet at that?
King or 10. Or, I mean, Jack.
Thank you.
100%. I'm gonna go with 10. Probably 10.
You want to bet on it?
We gotta settle the
If you
first one.
give me 2 to 1,
I'll give you 2 to 1.
You're
You're saying the 10.
A Jack or a 10.
No, you said a 10.
Jack or 10, and you're giving me 2 to 1. It's a good deal. Come on, it's 2 cards of 13. Let's go.
Real quick, guys, one black chip each, rock,
You said
paper,
it has to
scissors.
be a 10
Let's go.
at the end. You said it has to be a 10. That's when I said 2 to 1. But if you're saying Jack or 10.
Okay, well, I tell you what, give me 1 to 1.
I just love all these little prop bets they're doing on this side. That's how you know it's that's how you know it's a good table. I've played some games with people betting on, you know, if they can make it into a trash can from the table. People giving 10 to 1. It's always fun.
I tell you what, I'll give you 2 to 1. But we're only betting $10.
Ace-3 student's gonna find the open here from the small blind. Definitely gonna be raising rather than limping.
You're putting up $10 or I'm putting it?
And gets rewarded with 15 free dollars there.
You're giving me 2 to 1, so you're either gonna pay me 20 or I'm gonna pay you 10. Correct, okay. All right, was it a 10? Did you winky him or something? Did you winky him?
Looks like Blake and the Kevins are still the big winners tonight.
I know.
I didn't like
He
the odds I was getting.
literally haggled his way to a win.
I would have given it to you for if you did it.
He's very Asian.
Stein Pie and Ace Queen in early position. Gonna get some action from the big blind, probably. Nope. Blind's all full. Takes it down again. Kind of surprised to see the Queen 9 not defend there.
Back to the other.
I already have action. I don't need you anymore.
All right. You do understand. You're getting awfully close, so you must like the smell.
No. Not my choice.
You can smell it?
Yeah.
Oh, I'm so sorry.
I know it's okay.
It is not. It's a potato. It's not like I brought curry. It's like a baby food.
5 full.
That is not true, son. You're just being
Sorry.
a hater.
6 rows, 35.
Kevin's gonna open up King 10 from the hijack. Slightly loose, I think, but last 2 hands hasn't been much action, so definitely fine to start mixing it up. Especially if people aren't punishing you.
2 6 9
4 ways here. Stein with the best of it here on the turn. That turn top pair. Magic's probably feeling pretty good here with his sevens, though.
16, 19.
Snap fold. He knows as soon as he gets called, he's probably got a queen. Queen or better.
I think that's a big old kidney is what that is. Call it a sweet potato.
Did that come in a
That's the
big red
reddest-
cooler, red cloth?
That's the, yeah, it's a liver.
Did you get it from a guy who seemed like he was in
Bob.
a hurry?
Pretty gross.
I stole it. I thought it was his dinner, but it was his sister's kidney.
Right out of the cooler.
Hannibal Lecter shit.
Yeah.
See those high cheek dogs? 5 calls, 6 calls. 8 wins, 15.
Chris is going to wake up with ace king yet again.
1 fold. 2 folds. 3 folds. 4 folds.
Surprisingly, Jeff only flat calls from the cutoff here with ace queen. Most players would have put in a 3-bet and found out the bad news when the ace king 4-bet them. But they're going to take it 3 ways to the flop, figure it all out there. And Jeff's just going to outflop both players. Barber still has a gut shot and the backdoor diamond's working for him, so he's probably going to see a turn at least. Against 2 opponents, Chris should probably check a little bit more often, but it's still completely fine to be c-betting.
Does it taste like meat?
5 folds.
Jeff's just going to put in a small raise. Loses action from the one hand that might have continued, but wins 167 virtually uncontested.
Eat off of anything that's bad for him.
Thank you.
So are you taking, you got a beef supplement?
I don't know, man. You tell me. I'm like a human experiment.
Takes too long to pay out.
Sometimes I don't have to pay out, though. I die.
Yeah, that's a good one. Do it on your own.
6
Do it
folds.
yourself.
I didn't think
Blake finds 8s in the cutoff.
2 calls. 3 folds.
Magic's going to continue with his ace-6 suited on the button.
4 calls.
Could work in some small 3-bets now and then with the ace-6 suited. Flat's perfectly fine though.
3 folds.
Doesn't want to bloat the pot against Blake with the marginal hand. And he's just going to flop top pair with a flush draw. It's about as good as it gets. Blake does have the 8 of clubs in his hand, so he'll be tempted to continue here a little bit.
Decent.
Just lets it go wisely. Knows that Magic probably isn't c-bet bluffing enough, so just lets it go.
Totally strong.
Blake getting a little frisky. 8-7 off from the hijack and come up with an open. He's trying to play some pots here. Thinks he has an edge on everybody and is looking to utilize it. Magic's going to immediately put in the small 3-bet with 7-8 suited. Just lets it go. Magic's gonna pick up free $50.
They got
You guys both called. I probably called.
You pulled the winner.
Win.
You didn't have the same hand? I knew if he didn't have the same hand, then he had the winner. So I was free rolling.
What did he have?
You get bottom pair, a deuce.
With a 6 or something? How did he have a gutter and a
Straddle
pair?
out.
Oh, duh.
Oh, you thought he had ace deuce? Wow. Makes me feel better about the bet.
Oh, wait. Oh, yeah.
9 fold. 1 fold.
Magic's gonna find it open with the ace-3 suited.
2 million. 3 fold. 4 fold.
I don't. Your hand. I should have called you. 5 6s.
5 fold. 6 fold. 8 fold.
Lay down, free $17.
I can jam.
Should have. You could have found a way.
Never a bad thing to win uncontested money.
I knew what was coming on the river too.
I know a lot of us, when we play lower stakes, we win $3 and it's kind of disappointing, but as you start to move up in stakes, winning $10, $15, $20, just taking it down instantly is quite nice.
The time I catch you speeding. Go pocket 6s. Your tail gets tucked between your legs. Oh, that would have been totally brutal.
Deuce, and you're like, oh fuck, my hand's so good right now. Best turns and rivers in the world.
That would have been extremely brutal.
Queen 9 suited from the cutoff, reasonable open.
You've been like, I wanted to look me up with ace jack so bad right
5
now.
fold. 6 fold. 8 fold. 35. 9 fold.
Well, MD, I'm from Dallas. I'm one of the poker dealers in Dallas, and sometimes I like to play 1-2, occasionally 2-5 or PLO.
Is that how it works?
I usually play on Harry Hines. Sometimes I'll go over to Las Colinas and play in the new room.
Can't hear.
Oh, we're gonna wait till 8:30.
Oh, okay, cool.
Yeah, mix it up.
Change it up, good.
Yeah.
We were doing it on the 15s.
He's so excited for a bomb time.
Yeah, so I can misread it. Smart ass.
He's trying to redeem himself.
I'm gonna scoop a big one here and then doggone that fucker doesn't know what he has.
Four cards.
That's
a little
setting
bit
you
too
up.
much. Yeah.
I can't wait to hear Roddy's commentary on that hand. And Kevin's going to lead out with not much.
He thinks he has this. Wow.
Maybe Kevin misread his hand. I don't. This seems like suicide.
I'm glad he's not in the box, yeah.
Oh, is nobody in the box?
Mike's gonna flop a gutter here and backdoor flush draw. Barber with the second pair. Now 2 pair.
Infamy right there.
But Blake leads out. And gets snap raised by Barber.
The gutter again.
Gutter no good.
Probably not. You're bluffing and you have the gutter hand.
Oh. I don't have bluff in my little playbook, okay?
I think I've watched a few hands to I think that's not the case. Little barber punts.
Yeah, you know what punt is in my playbook. You know that I'm capable.
Unless it doesn't get called, in which case it's really line between brilliant and idiotic is pretty fine in this game.
Stein's gonna open up with ace-10 off, early position. You have to be careful in some of these tougher games with when people are 3-betting about opening the ace-10. Generally lean towards the fold. It's real soft, no one's really pushing back at you, fine to open.
I think he has 2 pair, right?
He rivered pair.
You remember two pairs.
And then the backdoor flush and him pause around and then fall.
Thank you.
That was the best hand ever. I'm putting that on my highlight.
Thank you.
So you got lucky in there.
600 in that hand before.
True, the pot was like 3 something, and then you got 700.
Oh yeah, that's
Five,
I don't know.
6 rings, 35.
Yeah, pot was 400.
I'm not too familiar with these players. I don't go down to Austin very much, so I'm not sure about anybody's relationship status. If you want to shoot your shot, though, maybe just go play in Austin. Hop in one of the games.
2 rings, 2.
Just kidding, man. Ace queen?
Magic's going to take down another small one.
Where did that along? How's that kidney? Some fava beans.
You get awful slows actually. You come and lean over. I think you like this one.
Do you microwave fish?
Are you that guy?
I'm not one of those.
8 rings, 35.
These aren't the worst I've ever played with.
Chris is going to open up the king 10 off. Going to get some action from Blake for sure. 7s can actually do a small frequency 3-bet there sometimes. Depends on how much your opponents are opening. Of course, the flat's completely okay. Kevin's probably going to come along here. 5-6 suited, one of the best suited connectors. Kevin's got the flush draw here. Chris with the open ender. Trying to decide if he wants to just flat or turn it into a bluff straight away, put in the check raise. Getting a good price, he's just going to go for the flat. Probably put in the raise with some of the stronger flush draws. And Chris just turns the nuts straight away. Pretty nice to have the king of diamonds as well, where you aren't as afraid of some of the flushes that come in. Much less likely your opponents are going to get there. It's the snap fold. $300.
You know, they're really oily. Really pleasing.
The only thing in the stack.
I don't like that the one chip here.
Jeffrey's going to raise up ace jack suited and low jack. Get some action from Magic's king 9 suited. Unfortunately for Magic, he's got his suits dominated.
It's just not big enough to like.
See what Barber decides to do here. It's completely fine to complete here.
Yeah.
Try and flop some diamond draws or connect with some of the lower boards that your opponents aren't going to have nearly as often.
Why don't y'all get a room?
Barber's going to flop the flush draw.
And they go duke it
Left
out in
with
there.
top top.
Fuck it.
But you're saying it's meant to go under all your other chips.
It's meant to be more.
Yeah, more
I agree. But you can put them on top of your stack.
Just going to go for a half pot sizing here. It's about a little bit larger with the draws on board multi-way, but completely fine sizing. Get a continue from Barber. Barber's got the gut shot to go along with it, so probably not going to let go of the hand for any reasonable price.
Fall for odds. Fall for odds again. The whole night.
Yeah, he does that all the time. You know, all those players. Yes.
And Jeffrey's going to go for a third street. A little under half pot. Barber River's some showdown value here, but I don't think he's going to be good often enough. He's getting a little less than 4-1, so he has to be good around 22% of the time or so. So pretty much only beat bluffs, which you block with the diamonds here. So good laydown. You have to figure that Jeffrey's finding some non-diamond bluffs fairly often in order to make the call of a 6. You don't beat any value bets. You only beat airball bluffs.
Oh, God.
It's called circle jerking. Actually, they have the lowest intelligence quotient of any dealer here. Oh, sorry.
That's
I like it. I like it.
Almost.
Hey.
Straddle Quincy line, cancel. Live 20, Quincy line.
Got the double straddle on again. Trying to juice up the game a little bit.
One fold, two fold, three fold.
Agree.
I have no brain. Four fold,
If I only had a brain.
five fold, six fold. Yeah. 8 raise, 15, 9 fold.
Dark side of the moon on it.
Best album.
7-5 suited versus ace-5.
You just heard
Beautiful
about it,
flop for the ace-5. Got a pair and then a flush draw.
right? You didn't inhale, right?
Got your opponent betting into you, and you got
9 raise, 8.
every card in the deck pretty much here.
I didn't inhale. You didn't have sexual relations with that woman. A blowy does not count.
Huh? Sexual relations with that woman? Monica Lewinsky? Good impression.
No, it wasn't.
Have his hand like this.
You got it right on forward?
Yeah, just because she was under my desk did not matter.
One raise,
Pocket eights for Blake. Beautiful hand, the snowman.
special. 2 fold, 3 fold.
Gonna get some action from ace queen. Stein could definitely mix in some 3-bets here with the ace queen. He figures against the
5 fold, 6
the early position open from Blake, though, that he doesn't want to inflate the pot too much against a solid player. Kevin also going to just flat with the jacks. I think once one player flats between, I like a 3-bet a little bit better, but playing cautious against that early position open, never too bad of a play. I figure his range is going to be very solid.
It's his braille.
Blake is actually betting for value here, even though it's second pair. He just recognizes about where the ranges are going to be. So once he gets a call here from Kevin or a raise, he's probably going to slow down unless he picks up additional equity.
Because they use the big ones there.
Yeah.
Just a call from Kevin. Again, playing cautious against that early position open. Expect to check most of the time, yep. Kevin could go for small value here or check for the reception and play the river. Let Blake bluff the river and get some value that way. I'm gonna go about half pot. 2/3. Not a fun spot for Blake, but he's probably gonna have to see a river. I would have lost 200 there as well. You beat some hands that would have floated you and bet the turn like King Jack or Ace Jack, Jack 9, 8 9. Although you do block 8 9. Probably just have to fold this river against most players, unless you know they're getting really out of line. It's getting a great price though, 375 to win 1100.
Want to make odds? They didn't have the same hand.
Fortunately, finds the fold.
I'll give you.
Not tempted by the price.
You misread his cards.
I don't want to. Yummy, yummy. Pretty delicious.
Sometimes.
Trying to get paid off.
When you fold, I was like, fuck it.
Oh, yeah.
Kevin?
You look at the raise first in frequencies here. Blake is way at the lead here, almost 44%, not limping at all, always coming in strong. Generally, the people who are a higher percent on this list are going to be the more solid players. It is possible to have winning strategies where you're not always raising first in, but it's more typical of a modern strategy to always be raising and folding.
8 chip.
Got a bomb pot again. $10 a piece.
That's really good.
That's pretty good.
No straights are possible right now.
Don't fuck with me.
5.
Jeffrey has top set on bottom and an overpair up top. Kevin's going to find a float with top pair and a straight draw on bottom. Some overcards up top. Barber now in an interesting spot. He's got a flush draw up top and a pair on both boards. 6-7 also makes a gutter. So very tricky hand to play here. Not really drawing to the nuts, but having sort of a piece of everything. His hand's weak enough on bottom that he can get away from it, I think. Yep. Jeffrey, a very strong favorite here. Although Kevin now picks up the wrap. So wrap up top. Okay, inside wrap, I think, is the term for that. Very interesting run out here. I think Jeffrey's just going to bet and take it down. Very tricky, though. It's the biggest bomb pot we've had so far. Eight, nine, king, nine, ace, king are all straights. So you're not loving your set on bottom, and up top you're facing the wheel, the ace, two pairs, straights. So very very ambitious bet here.
Yeah, you might even be good. Please.
It's gonna be a chop. Very tough call there. It's two pair on bottom and just top basically. Top pair second kicker up top. May have had a live read or something to be able to make the call there. Probably would have folded that hand and hated my life. Just moved on to the next. Very interesting spot for both players. Bomb pots are always just very tricky. Kevin with the pocket eights and the hijack. Beautiful hand. And Blake with the ace jack defending the straddle. Can mix in some 3-bets. Gonna flop the best of it, but a very tricky board. Eights isn't loving it either. Interesting c-bet from Kevin. He's going to go quarter pot. It's a pretty dynamic board. And eights is just not really loving it. Typically go with the larger sizing on dynamic boards with fewer hands. When you bet with the smaller sizing, you're saying that you want to range bet the board with anything you have pretty much. And that could definitely be dangerous on a board like this, heads up. Anything that you get action from is going to have a lot of equity against you or already have you beat, and you'll be drawing very slim. So I think I like a check better with the pocket eights. And if you're going to decide to use it as a bluff, I would only do it at a low frequency and use a large sizing.
Pair of nine.
How can you get the Joker? No nine.
Is it bean or is it a nose hair?
Just looking out for you, kid.
Wipe it off for me.
No.
Yeah, we definitely have some pretty solid players in this lineup. Not a bad table. A couple tough players, a couple little bit more splashy players, but everybody's playing fairly reasonably. Just a matter of exactly how tight the ranges are pre-flop. Everyone seems to be making fairly rational decisions. Most of the mistakes seem to have been misreading the board or their own hand, surprisingly.
Still there? Oh, I got, okay, it's probably on the table. Alright, This is where Sang sat. Licking his fingers and touching the card. I can't believe this deck is usable after that.
Need to be lazy bad.
Chris is going to open up the threes in the cutoff. You want to be raising pretty much all your pairs in the cutoff, even pocket deuces, as I'm sure most of you know. You're not going to get 3-bet very often. You're always going to have some playability. You can make sets. Blake's going to raise up his pocket nines. Mostly raise or fold from the small blind, but they're deep enough that Chris just has to call and set mine. Over 200 big blinds deep. Not really allowed to fold too many pairs. Interesting to see if Blake range bets this board or not. About 80 into 300.
Music to my ears.
A little over quarter pot. Chris has the 3 of spades and backdoor wheel draw.
Not true either.
This might look a little strange, but it's completely fine float here. When Blake uses the small sizing, he's saying he's going to bet with a large portion or all of his range, with hands exactly like he has pocket nines. You're going to be able to turn equity and bluff in position whenever he checks to you with the weaker parts of his range. So it seems actually a very reasonable float. You're going to see him start to barrel some turns and rivers here. Your 3s don't have much showdown value, so it's a very decent hand to bluff with that most players won't find. I really like the play. It does suck when you run into the top portion of your opponent's range, but you have to remember he 3-bet from the small blind, and most good players are raising or folding from the small blind, so they have a lot more weak hands than you might expect, even though it's a 3-bet pot. I'm not sure what this stat is they're showing here. AFQ. Never heard of that. All in win frequency, maybe, or something. Kind of a strange stat. Chris finds the ace-jack offsuit in the hijack, gets some action from Blake, and looks like we have a new player here.
The guy from
Maybe?
Dallas.
Anu in seat 7. Chris gonna open up the king 10. Blake's gonna call. He can mix in 3 bets here or flat. Both are fine. You're gonna be playing in position with suited ace. Never that bad. And Anu's gonna complete with king queen. Again, he can mix in some 3 bets. Looks like Anu is playing off of $1,000 stacks to start. At 100 big blinds deep. Blake's gonna float here with the ace high. Recognizes that Chris is making a range bet here. Ace high is gonna be good sometimes, and since he's in position, he might have some nefarious intentions on future streets. But he's actually gonna turn the best of it here. Now that he's got this showdown value, it'll be interesting to see what he does. If he decides to go for some razor thin value like he has been, or set himself up for some bluffs on the river. Just take it down.
It's a good scare card.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think he was more just preparing to barrel the turn and river there once he saw some slow down from his opponent. More so than value betting before. Had the best of it though. Kevin's going to find an open from the small blind here with the ace-9 suited. Very reasonable. Barber will complete with the 10-6 suited. Very similar spot we had earlier. And Kevin will complete from the straddle king-9 suited. Barber's got the best of it for now, but Kevin Y has the most equity with 2 overcards and a flush draw. Backdoor straight draw as well. Definitely like to see a check raise here, very large. Just a flat. Flat's fine. I think check raise is a little bit better, allows you to win the pot without realizing your equity and deny as much equity as possible. You're never going to be behind, so getting the right price here if he wants to flat or raise. And he's going to realize some of that equity, rivering the best of it with the 9. Looks somewhat innocuous. Barber may decide to bet again. Nope, just checks back.
Be a 10 shrimp.
Blake's going to raise it up with the 6-7 suited. Kevin's going to call the raise with the 7 deuce of hearts. He's on the button. He's got a suited hand. Figures he's going to be able to play in position. Unfortunately, dominated by both players here. King 6 flopping top pair and second flush draw. Both other players flopping a second pair. Blake's got the backdoor diamond draw and straight draw to go along with the second pair, so he's not really minding the board texture too much. But with the overcall and the spades coming in, nobody but Barber is happy anymore. Barber's gonna lay the trap and let Blake barrel off. It's a bit of a wide bet here, facing two opponents with just second pair, not blocking any spades. He did pick up the gutter, but he's gonna find out the bad news here on the river. Blake has to know he's up against at least a king now. And once Barber puts the lead in, it's going to be pretty tough to find a call here. Probably just let it go. He hasn't made any hero calls tonight from what I can remember though, so maybe he'll decide to put his foot down. I think you just need a spade in your hand to call here. The diamonds work against you as well. It's less likely your opponent flooded with a backdoor diamond draw. If you are going to call with a 6-7 suited here, you'd want to have hearts or clubs, preferable to diamonds. Just going to be hard for most players to find bluffs there. They'd have to have like 8-9 with one spade or something. Magic getting a little frisky here. 8-5 suited out of the low jack. Gonna make it heads up against the new King 3 of diamonds. Actually doing quite fine here, equity wise. And Magic just flops the world here. Straight flush draw with an overcard. Gonna get action from bottom pair. When you raise a hand like 8-5 of hearts, this is the top 5% of boards, give or take. And of course, Anu just turns 2 pair and max pain. Yeah, definitely gonna have to call a river bet here. Well, Anu's actually just gonna lead out. Very unorthodox play. Trying to get value from hands like Ace King and King Queen. Magic's just gonna go all in, I imagine. Nope, just flat. Missed out on a couple $100 in value potentially. Manu may have found the fold, but when you've got the flush there against a stack like that, I'd probably just shove. If you run into a better flush, nice hand.
Oh, wow.
So you don't have your little nameplate out there.
That lead actually saved Anu a little bit of money.
Blake to play.
I think Magic would have bet a little bit larger if he had checked, and he would have had to have called.
Telling that in the back, that I feel hurt.
Put an F in there instead for Blake.
Because my name is incorrect.
She put it incorrectly. She put it changed on that. It wasn't her fault.
It changed automatically?
Yeah.
You got it wrong in the app?
Yeah, you got it.
Oh, look, now she changed it.
She swears that it was also just on our TV it was
Can
wrong.
you change it to potato breath? Kidney chomper?
Just go with like Vamp or something like that. Something cool. Count Dracula. Hannibal.
Kevin finds the Ace King, the hijack.
Yes! You see that? You see that?
Fire call. 6
I know, dude.
We get a lot of action here. King 8 suited, 10-5 suited, pocket 3s, 10-9. First 5-way flop in a while.
Narrow it down.
Everybody's got a shot here. 10 high board for Anu and Jeffrey. Anu just leads out. Ace is a bit of a scare card. Save Anu some money here, most likely. Not scary, still gonna bet. Trying to get value and protection from some flush draws here, I imagine. Maybe some straight draws like 9-7 or 6-7 or Jack-9 as well. A lot of hands you can get some value / protection from. It's just gonna bluff the 10-9 out of here, probably. Oh, better see one more. It's a bit unfortunate for Jeffrey that he has a spade in his hand. He's blocking some of the bluffs that Anu might have. Very strange river bet here. He's gonna get looked up, find out the bad news.
Cool.
I'm muttering, there's no way I'm good.
No way you're good. It's called anyway.
Thank you.
Pocket 3s, Chris. What a station, dude.
I know, right? What a station.
What a
It's a good call there on the river. He only has to be right 20% of the time, given that sizing. And the hand just
Which hand?
played very strangely. Sometimes you just gotta look them up. Even if you're wrong, you'll get enough information that it'll probably be worth it.
The player, you know?
You definitely played the player.
Oh, sorry, here.
Magic gonna raise the 8-5 suited again. Worked pretty well last
Oh, my
time.
set coming on the river, though.
See if he can get one of those flops again. News gonna come along with the Jack-10 off. Very short stack here. Only 14 big blinds effective here. SPR less than 2. But that's a pretty good flop there for Anu. Just gonna go all in. All in, take it down.
Your next card. On the cutlass?
Yeah, but I have to finish the stream. I have to finish the stream. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, right? I have to finish the stream. No, she said you can't come.
Oh, okay.
No, it's fine. Three folds, 4 folds. 5 versus 30.
Kevin's got the aces. Beautiful pocket rockets.
6 folds, 100, 7 folds, 8 folds, 9 folds.
Gonna go in with a 3-bet.
2 folds,
Smaller 3-bet size and position.
5 folds. 3
It's a
folds.
cold call. From what looks like a a new player. Optimize, gonna just flop a boat. Nice to sit down.
16.
Sit down and just flop it straight away. Oh no, that's the same player we've had. He just changed his name, I guess. It's gonna cost Kevin a lot of money here. Only a few cards can really save him.
6 check.
This might be one of them. Not a very good run out to get max value here. He'd probably bet like 300 and still get looked up. Just check, wow. Definitely missed out on some value there.
Thought about that, eh?
Actually surprised to see snap check back like that. I probably would have thought about betting small.
Yep, I'm in cahoots with Kevin C.
He scratches down, now he's gonna scratch hers.
Bet small fold.
When did I scratch his back?
Hey, just now.
Oh, when did he scratch mine?
Well, he's about to, right?
Oh,
That's how it works.
yeah. Yeah.
That's not how that shit works. Did not like that flop at all.
No? You got an eerie feeling?
Yes, I had two little pointy ones.
6 5, 7 checks, 8 folds,
If that's
9
I
folds.
don't mind.
Yeah, he's kicking himself with that pocket sevens. It's one that basically just said I had aces. And he only made $200 something.
Can't believe you didn't bet on the river.
You think I would, right?
Sevens again,
I gotta be tricky.
back to back.
Play tricky.
He fooled us all.
Check.
Checky.
Check. Alright, you better bet that card. Check.
Okay, I'll bet that card.
I'll call it. That's a good double barrel.
King. Will you break that for me, please?
Thank you.
Bonbon?
The this guy says not yet.
12 minutes.
Not until the button gets to me. Oh. It said bomb pot. And I saw 4 cards out there.
5 folds, 6 folds, 7 folds. Bomb pot next hand. 8 raised every time. 9 folds.
Chris with the 10 of spades, my personal favorite hand, other than aces, of course. It's like my favorite random hand. Plays very nicely. And optimize, gonna put in a 3-bet. King Jack offsuit on the button.
8 folds.
And take it down.
Get my money back.
Calling anything down.
I'm starting to get a little light.
Yeah.
Just trying to get that pocket threes money back, you know.
Yeah.
If you could just fold me a few more bets, it would be great.
Kevin Y, the big winner. 1.8K. Chris W with the highest pre-flop raise, followed by optimize. One more bomb pot here. Might be the last one of the stream. I don't know if they'll do one more at the end. all diamonds up top. Got a wheel board on bottom.
Check.
Kevin's just gonna flop a nut flush up top straight away. And a paired board to make it even sweeter. Never that much fun. Looks like Chris has the second nut flush on bottom. Should narrow the field here. Probably Chris versus Kevin. Yep. Both boards are paired now, so neither player is loving this too much. But Chris has the queen in his hand, so he does block the boats up top. So if Kevin checks here, Chris could definitely pot it and take it down. Can represent a boat up top and push his equity on bottom. 150. I think I like a pot better, trying to get folds rather than calls. You bet 150, you're trying to get called, it seems like.
I have trips on the top and flush on
You got a
bottom.
flush on top.
Flush on top.
Okay.
Flush on top. Yeah, flush, flush. Straight up.
Sitting here thinking I should have repotted it.
Flush, flush.
First thing he's here.
And on you added 500.
$5.
500.
Manu's gonna limp in the 10-8 offsuit. Chris is gonna raise it up. $50 with 7-8 suited. Barber is almost certainly gonna come along as well. It may even 3-bet. Just a call. 4 ways. Surprised to see Optimize in here with 10-4 offsuit. Might be getting a little frustrated. The 9 of hearts loving this flop, of course. Optimize, putting in money with very little equity on this board. King's a good card to bluff on, but it's probably not going to get through. If you're going to play a 10-4, you kind of just have to go for it now. Bet 300 or something. 250. Barber's got the gut shot to go along with his flush draw now. See if Optimize can pull the triple here. Looks like Barber might go for a lead here. Turn his hand into a bluff. There's no way he thinks 10 high is good here, even though it is. See if Optimize goes for 500 or 600 here.
That's 400.
400 bucks. Pretty small size to bluff with. Really trying to make it look value-y. Of course, we know that Barber has 10 high, so it's gonna work. Shows it down. 10-4 off. Stone cold triple.
Free money. Come and get it.
Probably the best cards. He's on the flush draw, right?
Free money, everybody. Come and get it.
Don't ruin his moment.
Fuck him. Right?
That was the best.
Value bet.
Be interested to see if Barber went for a lead
Love to
there.
get the best hand. There you go.
If Optimize would have found a
Shut up about my breath.
reshove for his bluff, or if he would have just let it go.
$7 and you call it a donkey tip? That's the dumbest thing a dealer's ever said to me.
No, come on. Can't believe you made that fucking call.
Stein with the ace queen off, getting some action from queen 10 and pocket fours. Well ahead of Magic here, flipping against the new. Ace in the window, always nice to see. Queen of spades is back up in case he needed it. Queen 10 probably has to call at least once. It's got the back door, the 10 of spades, and the gut shot. King is not a great card for Stein. He's going to put Magic on a king here a lot. Actually makes it a pretty good card for Magic to bet on. He can incorporate some turn leads on the king. Put hands like ace queen, ace jack, ace 10, ace 9 in some pretty nasty spots.
I can only make fun of Robbie and Chad.
5-6 suited for a new. Gonna limp in. No, he's a straddle. Jeffrey's got the aces.
That would be funny if two people in the booth pick somebody.
If any hand's gonna crack aces, 5-6 suited is a pretty good one to do it with. Top set for Jeffrey. Backdoor spades for new is about his only hope. He's gonna take it down. With the ace of clubs especially, I like just checking and laying a trap. It's gonna be really hard to get action from anything.
Without the queen of hearts.
Make sure they're all there.
We'll find out at the next bomb pot.
You're supposed to count the cards now.
For sure, yeah.
I didn't, they did nothing so, 10%. I have stuff, you know, a little cushion that, 9 fold, 1 fold, 2 fold.
I'm seeing some white space there.
Three raises, 5 fold.
Might have fallen down between your legs or more.
6 raises, 1 fold, 7 times, 8 times.
Queen 9 suited versus Jack 9 suited. Cut off first small blind. Neither flush draw comes in, but the back doors are possible. Jack 9 also has backdoor straight draw. Spades for Kevin. He's really liking this turn with the open-ender and flush draw now.
It was an honest mistake, I'm sorry.
It's even nicer when that 10 comes in because he has the straight to the jack. But it's a straight for both players. It's going to be a chop pot. Unless something crazy happens. I don't think either player has that much 9-10 suited. They probably, in theory, have equal amounts, but just the way it plays, I don't feel like either player would have that. So I feel like Kevin can pretty comfortably go for a raise here and not really have to worry about it. It'll be a call and a chop.
It's a 9, that's a fucking 9.
You guys both have the same thing.
Good hand. Not really.
I fucked up on the turn. I would not have checked that.
It's lucky you didn't just read your hand.
Thank you.
I couldn't read you start. I thought that was an 8 at first one. God damn, is that an 8?
Magic with the 6-7 suited. Getting some action from the 6-5 off. Whoever bets it pretty much takes it down here. Doesn't even have to put it out.
Just look at it.
Always nice, especially when you've got complete air.
5-6 didn't like that flush.
You want a bite tonight? You can have a bite.
7-6 didn't either.
But you reached first.
Commander logo. You don't watch football?
Thought I knew most of the names.
That's very surprising that you don't watch football.
Finally a premium for a new. Ace King suited. On the button, no less. And just takes down the blinds, unfortunately. He's finally hoping to get some action.
I can probably name 3 professional football players. Probably not 4. And I might get like 1 or 2 wrong. Either somebody that retired. I can name probably 3 football players in all of history. They're gonna have some of them are gonna have to.
Wait back in the day.
like a limped pot here so far. Magic gonna bump it up with the pocket tens.
He wasn't even a quarterback. That's pretty good.
Add a little extra money in there. Compensate for the limpers. Heads up. Top set, but a nude's got the nut flush draw. Definitely an action board here. Just a call. And a new picks up a pair here to make him feel a little bit more comfortable.
It's gotta be some bird. Every NFL team's like a bird.
See if a new decides to bluff. Nope. Top set's gonna win.
Ah.
I didn't know that word.
Nice little game so far tonight. Moved some money around on the table a good bit. Seemed to be some fairly well-rounded, decent play all around.
Me too, man. I mean,
Every 6 or 7 is almost worth playing.
Ace queen for Chris. Gonna raise it up in the cutoff.
same here.
Get some action from Magic.
It's like queen nine suited, man.
Yeah,
Like runner.
I love that.
Runner.
I'd play queen nine.
Second pair and a straight draw versus straight draw and backdoor spades.
My favorite card.
Yeah.
Magic needs a jack for a chop. He's gonna bluff his way to victory there. Nice little bluff. Knows that his 2 is not very much showdown value there, never good. Pulled some 10s and queens out, especially when he bets the turn diamond and the backdoor diamond comes in on the river. Good card to bluff. Ace 7 versus Ace 5. Optimize gonna flop top pair with the nut flush draw.
Let's go.
Just gonna put a new all in. A new just has to call with his stack size. And new's actually gonna be good here. This kicker is gonna manage to play.
Howie!
Very nice double. He's actually behind equity-wise, even though he had a better hand.
You're allowed to run that out No shit.
306.
He had ace, he had hearts, he had enough fun.
You got a very good. You got a very good spot.
Interesting that the white chips play.
Sometimes the game.
He's mortal after all. There you go. Love it. comes, fellas.
Esteemed.
Handy don't win.
I just donate.
Chris wakes up with ace-9 suited and low jack. Definitely worthy of an open. Then bump it up to 60.
I like it.
Get some max from jack 10 suited in the small blind. Again, I like mostly razoring or folding from the small blind. Flatting with a hand like this is certainly okay. But definitely think about mixing in some 3-bets here. And beautiful flop for the jack 10 of clubs. Flush draw, 2 overs. Top pair on the turn. Ace-9 just giving it up very wisely. Don't do it. No hero call. Let it go. He's gonna look him up with the ace high and find out the bad news.
Oh, club. Too small. It was 25 to something, yeah. I mean, shit, it's freaking 18-4, 11. The 10-run rule. It's like when softball used to be, you know?
Gonna open up the ace-3 from the small blind. It's actually one of those hands when you're blind v blind, you can go for a limp re-raise bluff with. Opening up, not going to be too bad. Only have 2 opponents to worry about, although you will be out of position to both. King Queen's going to bet with the open ender. Don't really fold pairs on the flop, so bottom pair is going to see the turn. Jack's an excellent card for ace-3. Makes it much less likely you're against top pair. And that's the worst card in the deck, because now Barber's made his open ender and Kevin's made top pair. He's going to bet for value and find out the bad news here real quick. He would have much preferred to see like a 5 on the river, offsuit 5 or something, and then he can check call with his ace-3. Barber's going to take it down. No showdown. And Stein wakes up with ace-king, ace-king spades. Let's see if he gets action from anybody. Barber's going to come along with king-queen. Going to flat from the small blind. And the new is going to complete his straddle as well. E6 going to flop the best of it. Middle pair and a backdoor nut flush draw. Anu leads out yet again. Takes it down. Generally advocate checking to the pre-flop razor, letting him bluff. Nothing wrong with just taking it down on the spot though.
Bomb pot. $10 anyhow, please, for the bomb pot.
And looks like this will be our last bomb pot. $10 a
Bomb
piece.
pot Annie's. Thank you.
Everybody's in again.
But they had this guy who was, they showed us there, this guy, ended in with like 3 million, and they were like, he clicks, and we're just out of business. But apparently this guy was like,
You need to show it to all the guys.
Korean guy, he was bankrupt, playing
Queen 7-3 rainbow.
Check.
8-5-4 2 clubs. Looks like Barber's got the best shot at both boards so far, with the king high flush draw and on both boards. I thought it was Queen 7-3 rainbow, but looks like it's clubs on both.
Check.
Optimized with the wrap up the top. Barber was still with the flush draw on both and 2 pair on bottom. Optimized has the 10 high straight here. And Kevin actually has trip 5s on bottom. Barber bricked everything.
Straight on top, not very good.
2 pair on the bottom.
Yep, that'll do it.
It was a showdown tie. Oh, good. I don't want the flush draw. It breaks.
Oh, no, it's fine.
Kevin Y still the big winner, up 1.7K. Optimize up 1K.
Thank you.
Kevin C up $800. Not bad for under 4 hours. Optimize and Chris still at the very top with the raise first in frequency. Basically means they're both being properly aggressive pre-flop. Kevin wakes up King Jack suited in the small blind. Standard open here. Jeffrey gonna come along with 9-5 suited. Wants to see a flop. King Jack with the straight flush draw. Queen of diamonds is the dream here. Jeffrey with second pair. 10s and 9s are the 5.
Well, you went runner.
Jeffrey gonna make the boat now. 9s full of 10s.
That's what I mean, like, when you called the gut.
Kevin still has plenty of outs though. King Jack, Queen of diamonds, 9 per chop.
You would have called the turn bet.
Especially if they fold.
Yeah, I bet they fold.
Brick City. Jeffrey with the check mark.
Good.
They use that, like a bomb pod last week against Javen. Walked into it and you called.
I straddled.
Yeah, right?
You straddled
You
it.
straddled 20.
Oh, like, okay.
And then he was like, oh, you're probably good.
Well, I snapped call, and
No, you're like, oh, this is such an idiot call.
I said, I guess I just called.
Right, okay, yeah.
Complete.
And then he said, you're probably stupid.
And you did.
And I did.
But it was a bluff.
So you went back and looked?
You said, if he says that, oh, you probably and I did look at it. It was. I mean, there was 4 to a straight on top.
He does weird stuff though. I mean, like, he could have been, he could do something weird, like bet 2 pair over here. He doesn't. So he may have thought he was supposed to say, I guess I just called.
It was definitely a bluff. It was not 2 pair.
You went back and looked?
I looked at it. I don't remember exactly what he had, but I remember like there's 4 to a straight on one board, and then like he didn't have a straight.
Chris, the best here with ace high. But New here is going to turn open-ended.
Yeah, because you have this guy just like.
And if you're going to play the 2-4 offsuit, open-ended is pretty appealing.
No one holds a decent hand at the bomb. So if you're bluffing on both boards,
And New's going to make a wheel here. Get some value from Chris's ace for sure. Chris has the ace of spades blocking the flush, so he's pretty much has to call. If you make it to the river and make top pair, holding is not really an option. Unless you really have some information about your opponents. Gets the call. Chris finds out the bad news.
I know.
Only in Texas, and
I know, but like his strategy, I've never taken it, but his strategy is not the standard like strategy on double board. Right? It's way more dynamic. Really? Yeah. I've never personally thought he was very good at those, but you know, I assume for him being full time and playing a lot, I'll give him credit. He probably knows a lot of things I don't. The way he plays, I wouldn't play.
Magic with the Jack-10 suited, early position. Gonna raise it up. After the slumps, actually. Generally advocate for a raise with this hand, unless you're gonna mix it in as a limp re-raise to balance out some of your strong hands. Jeffrey gonna make it 60 with the ace-queen out of the big blind. When you squeeze from the blinds, you can even go for a larger sizing to pick up that dead money. You're not trying to play out of position versus everybody. You can make it $100. Really charge the max. If everybody folds, you win $32 instantly.
I don't see it getting advertised at all. I appreciate you for being so good.
No, he advertised it a little.
Second pair for a new. Gonna come along.
Yeah, that was a long time ago. Yeah, he made that. Of course.
Right, but they don't advertise it anymore.
Gonna raise it up actually. Very thin raise here. Sort of testing the waters, seeing where he's at.
There you go. Of course hasn't returned.
Ace of spades kind of works against Jeffrey here. He's blocking the nut flush draw, which is a hand that a new might choose to bluff with. Removes a lot of the combinations. It does give him the backdoor flush draw, but I think it's more significant that he's blocking the bluffs. But he's just going to go ahead and realize his equity straight away, turn in top pair. Always nice. And the new's going to bet out again. Jeffrey just goes all in. I think you can just get away from, if you're going to bet the ace-5, even though you're getting a good price here, not really going to be good here ever. Kind of just realize you shouldn't have bet the turn here and save your last $270.
So you gotta play like if you're a good player. You don't. It doesn't matter. Right? You get your balance.
Good luck. Yeah.
You have to sort of think when you're betting what's going to happen. Like, what are the possibilities? Like, if I get called, am I happy? If I get a fold, am I happy? If I get raised, am I calling? You just snap bet every time you have a pair. It's going to be pretty difficult to play future streets, and you're going to have a hard time. You feel really silly whenever it's 270 to call the win. That's going to be, $1,700, $1,800 pot.
I feel like I can project what he's thinking at any given moment, basically what it says. And,
I think that's a really good format, like the Twitch thing, where like you're just narrating exactly what you're thinking. That's so interesting.
yeah, it's super, super interesting. But of course you're exposing yourself to exploitation.
Negrano did it like in a series of.
Masterclass.
Yeah, he did the master class. But there's a good free one on YouTube if you Google modern poker theory. It's like a 5-parter in a 25K online super high roll.
Anu with the pocket nines. I'm going to put in half his stack.
Yeah.
It's just like
Really good, like, mental exercise. The problem is, like, you can say, Kevin, like, if you play a balanced strategy, then it doesn't matter. But it's really, really hard to play a balanced strategy. And if you give a stream of thought that is not actually balanced in someone else's script, that becomes a really exploit, right? And so it's really hard if you give hours of projection and off the top of your head. It's really hard not to create attack vectors. Like, extremely difficult. Especially if you're someone like Westlake Matt, who's freaking autistic, savant, intelligent, who will remember every single hand.
Is he on the spectrum, really?
Yeah, hard.
I didn't know that. Why is that funny?
35, 5,
I mean, he's a bit eccentric. I didn't know if he's
I
completely.
don't think he's on the spectrum. Let's just put it out there. I think he's just on the spectrum.
100%.
Kevin with the 7-8 suited, early position.
He's bizarre as fuck. That's
It's a fine raise.
Not on the spectrum.
Gonna run into Stein's kings though. Stein's probably gonna put in a 3-bet here.
I think that's
135 maybe.
Huh?
I don't know. I think he jokes.
115.
well, he has no value of money. Zero. I mean, he's a trust fund kid, man. He's got shit tons of money. He
Is that
doesn't value
confirmed?
it.
Is that confirmed?
I don't think so. I think it was a joke. And he ran
No,
with it.
no, but he's
Do you
he's
flop
a
here?
Lake Rich boy. He's never fucking worked.
Okay, do you know that for sure?
2 aces isn't so bad for the kings. Makes it much harder to have an ace.
Yeah, I mean,
7-8 has backdoor flush, backdoor straight draw.
well, that is.
Facing a pretty small bet. You could float here.
Mommy and daddy take care of him. Hell,
If you're
he
in
does
position,
play
you can
poker.
bluff future streets.
Yeah, I mean, but.
Stein's gonna see bet this board a lot. Kevin picks up a gut shot.
Might be grandpa or grandma.
It could be, man.
No, I'm serious. Yeah.
But I mean, the guy.
Good check here from Stein. Allow Kevin to bluff with some of his floats. Protect yourself. Keep the pot small whenever Kevin does have an ace.
Kind of crazy shit.
Get some value from some of those floats and bluffs. I think when you do float with the 7-8 suited and it checks to you, you kind of just have to start barreling. You're not trying to just hit a 4-outer on the river to win the pot. You need to give yourself some more options here. He could still turn his hand into a bluff here, but he's just going to give it
Yeah,
up.
he's just like, well, that's my point. That's why he has no value.
If you're not going to bluff the turn or river,
50K, oh, well, I'll
then
be
there's
back
no
tomorrow
sense in
with
really
100
floating
in
the
my
flop.
pocket.
All right, gentlemen, last name.
Looks like we're on the last hand of the stream. Hand 115.
Bomb the next hand. I think I won't.
They might do a flip after this. Six, seven suited for Barber is going to limp on in. Anu's going to limp the ace-4. Magic's going to complete the small blind with 6-4. And Kevin's going to check his option with king-3 suited in the straddle. Anu flops the best of it. Top pair, no kicker. Magic and Barber with third pair.
Well, yeah, who the fuck isn't drawing dead against your hand?
And Anu's just going to take it down here. Get some money back.
Set up on live stream. Barrel's live stream. Thank you.
Looks like they're doing one more bomb pot. Good way to wrap it up.
You don't have that much, maybe I'd probably call.
Don't worry about scanning guys. No, I said don't worry about scanning.